Our guest today. Who is our guest today? Let everybody know. David.
Andrew Schultz, pretty big comedian out there. A guy I don't know really well. I do think he's very funny though, and I've checked in with him here and there. He was on the roast with Tom Brady. That's how a lot of people would maybe know him on a bigger scale. Even though he does do theaters all over, of course. Big comic out there, has a podcast. Kind of a controversial guy, which is good. Shakes it up. And a lot of fun. We had a great chat with him. Mostly, we talked a lot about stand-up and a lot about how to film specials, how to sell them, and what works out there these days.
Yeah, two interesting things. One is he is very much a powerhouse out there. He's very high energy, and he steps outside the lines. He's definitely edgy, extremely funny. Then we got him on our show, and he's kind of sweet and humble. It's sort of funny when you see this dichotomy of the performer and his real personality. Number two, he says he plays arenas regionally, but he's huge in Dubai.
Oh yeah, he did Dubai.
Huge in Australia, and so he films a lot of stuff even between his specials. So he's a one-man band. He's an ecosystem. He's a business. He's very savvy and smart about stand-up. And like David said, a minute ago, his special takes a turn, and it's a sweet story about him and his wife trying to make a baby.
Have a baby, yeah.
And all the stuff that happens. Life on Netflix.
Right. And he's got good hair. Check out Life, and here's Andrew Schultz.
Thank you. This is a huge honor, guys. I just want to let you know this is a huge honor. I'm sure you guys get this all the time, but I really appreciate it.
Let's see. When Wayne's World came out, you were 8 or 9. Yeah, so I get it.
I'm 41. So
41,
so, yeah.
but you read at a 44-year-old level. I understand.
I'm high.
Yeah, but your specials are awesome. They're
Thanks,
powerful, man. And I guess it's your generation, but the beginning of the recent one on Netflix is so cool, where you come out, you land 2 jokes, like a cold opening, the way it opens, and your dad introduces you, and then it's a shot behind, and it just says the name of the special, gigantic. Yeah. I mean, it's like we would crawl out in the 90s. It would just, what's up? It's just like, it's an event.
How much control did you guys even have with like how specials looked when you guys were doing
None.
it? Was it, so HBO would just be like, hey, show up, do the material, and then we'll handle it.
You know, I remember Backdrop. What do you want your backdrop? I had an old one called Take the Hit, and they said, I want to do in Arizona. And they said, what do you want your backdrop to be? And I'm like, cactuses? I mean, it's like so fucking stupid. But it was like a desert. Yeah, it was just like, I go, maybe live coyotes. But what happened is no one actually looked at the back. And also you just wanted to be enough to not take away from what you're doing, or you disappear in the back, what you're wearing. So it's all complicated. It's just, is it any good?
What was it like? So back then,
I love guests that ask questions. I really
it's all back then.
No, I love that. You're curious.
Because like, okay. Because like I was coming up at like the downfall of the Comedy Central special.
Okay.
Right. Like, there was a moment like when I was young, I remember like the Deliriouses. I remember watching like Martin, Chris. Like I remember these like events. I remember going to watch a Martin Lawrence special in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Like they were just these like insane spectacles, right?
Yeah.
And then like the Comedy Central like half hours, I think it was like, you know, you would try to get premium blend. I remember that. And then maybe you get a half hour, then maybe you get an hour. And I remember like those like impacting people's careers less. When you guys were doing like your first specials, was it like the next week you couldn't walk down the street? Were you already so famous it didn't matter? Like, could you feel people watched it?
Mine came out, I'll just answer this, in 96. I'd already been on SNL, and it was an analog world. So just to be pithy, I never, I don't know how you name your specials. I just called it Critics' Choice.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
5 stars. So for years, my sister would call me, and then I was on cable TV, Comedy Central, playing on a loop. She goes, you got Critics' Choice again. So, but It was a much bigger impact then.
Yeah.
So you felt it. You felt like it was appointment viewing. People were watching.
Once it got off HBO and was on Comedy Central a lot, but
Dana, was yours HBO?
I believe it was.
I think that was the only game in town, really. When I got mine on, I was on maybe SNL or Just Shoot Me. And then it was a big deal because I didn't really know it was a big deal, but you got paid pretty well. And I remember HBO only did a couple. So it was very rare. And that it did have an impact on the stand-up. I didn't chase the stand-up as hard because I was working, and then I got more into stand-up later, back into it. But your question is, yes, it had a little more impact. And now stand-up's everywhere, and it's on your phone, and it's clips, and it's people doing crowd work. So you go, is a special important? It's very hard to stand out still. Is it a game changer?
From this generation's point of view to whatever, 2016, 2017, and people like yourself and Nate Bargatze, I don't know, Tom Segura, name them. They're Matt Rife, whatever, Sebastian. There's this phenomenon
places
of gigantic, and you're super global, and you're killing in Dubai and with these inside jokes and tagging them with your material, which is it's a nice thing to listen to because you don't feel like you're doing crowd work. You feel like you're legitimately asking questions or making statements. Anyway, speak to this phenomenon of Andrew Schulz compared to like 2016. I mean,
I think there's definitely levels, right? Like it's like I think like Nate and Sebastian and like Shane, like I think they're doing arenas in every city they go to, and I think I'm like a regional arena act.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's some that do. Joe Coy goes different spaces. It's bigger, smaller.
Right.
Where are you loved most?
Fucking in the Middle East. I was joking around with Tim Dillon. I was like, listen, if you do like a decade of women are annoying jokes, like you'll sell a lot of tickets.
Women are annoying. Flies over there.
But yeah, so it's like I'll have my markets, but it is kind of weird because usually white guys aren't like that. Like you're right. Like usually there's like an Asian dude will crush in like San Francisco, Hawaii, Irvine, right? So I'm kind of I'm like an Asian arena act. That's kind of what I am.
That's what I think.
Like random international places. Like, so yeah, it is cool. It's fucking awesome. I don't know what to tell. Like,
well,
it's awesome.
Well, you're owning it.
Crazy.
I mean, you're not like nervous out there. You're not. I mean, you have. When I get comfortable, you put one foot's on the monitor, and you're playing to 20,000 people. And this is what you would do at a little, hole in the wall shithole. One foot's on the thing, and it denotes I'm relaxed, man. I am in total charge here. So
would it be easier just to request a step stool out there? It wouldn't look as cool, I guess.
I just want I want the front of a boat. I want to look like George Washington.
Put the front of a boat out, and just step. What about? I have a question about when you do these. I just talked. I think Segura went overseas, and overseas. I think when they told me once, do you want to go overseas? They go, what they do is they'll put you in a couple of small, like clubs or maybe a small theater. Let's see how it goes, see how famous, see if anybody gives a fuck, and come back. And then the next time you have a gauge. I'm like, wait, go twice? Yeah. So like Dubai and that stuff, I don't know because you must have bigger themes. I mean, you can't mention Ralph's. You can't talk about Sepulveda. You can't. And that's the hard part. The bigger you get, you have to go, this has to work for everyone. And I remember Chris Rock, I used to say, you're smart. You go politics, you go relationship, marriage, and those will last you 40 minutes. And those, at least everyone gets it.
Yeah.
Is that what you need over there?
Listen, I got lucky that my sperm doesn't work and everybody wants to have a family, or a lot of people like having families. Okay. So like that was a kind of relatable story that I ended up telling. But what I noticed about like Abu Dhabi specifically, is that they're more connected with American culture than the English, because a lot of them are all educated here and in like real America, like Tennessee State, not NYU or UCLA, like some rural American colleges. So they know all the references. But when you go to Amsterdam, like they are those are some tough shows, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Those are some tough shows. Like,
I'm sure they can. It's not even your fault. It's just you pop in and you're like, I think they were saying some of these cities were tough and some were like full crickets and some were great. And you're like, you don't even know.
Hey,
you don't know why. And probably someone does better.
Crickets as a special.
Full fucking crickets.
Full crickets.
Dude, I had full crickets the Laugh Factory the other night. I'm like, what? Am I getting worse at this point?
That's got to be a meme or something. But what you did in Australia is you backed into jokes about the Aboriginals there.
Yeah.
You know,
I like doing that. Like I like going to places and like writing some jokes like the day of and then seeing if it goes well. But I like talking to people when I'm in these places and I'm trying to get information and see like what they're proud of, what they're embarrassed of, and like writing some stuff about them that they wouldn't maybe expect me to know. And what I find is like, if I can, sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. But if it does go well, the rest of the show goes really well. Cause I think everybody there goes, oh, okay. Like he cares about us. He's not here to just
they like money. Something local for sure.
Yeah. They're like, he's made an effort. And he's interested in this place, and so that tends to. Yeah.
Here's an oversized laugh I got just the other night. Sorry, I'm playing some Valley. We're flying into Ketchum, and I said, I go, some Valleys. That's the place I'm playing. I mean, Ketchum. I just thought it'd be a complete shithole. So that got such a big laugh because it's out of the blue
in Sun Valley, Idaho.
The clueless guy. I just thought Ketchum be a shithole, man. It's great, but. The laugh is so big when it's local, and I was doing that since the late 70s. I mean, and if I always a few jokes about the place and what's the shitty town that they'll laugh at.
Yeah. And also like, what is some like weird, like every place has a big story. You know what I mean? Like they're not talking about Elon over there or fucking Trump or whatever the politics is. Like whatever their local shit is fun. So, how can I pull that? Like, it was all the Israel-Palestine protests when I was in Australia. And there was all these Australians like, give them back their land or whatever. So the joke I had is like, there's some Aboriginal dude watching these white Australians go, give them back their land. And just kind of stand. So it's like that joke would work in New York, but in Australia,
crush.
It really goes. So I try to write a joke that I would use anywhere. But that is the epicenter of where it would get the best reaction.
But you're also auditioning. Like I was just thinking, if you were in Ireland, because these guys just went to Ireland, I go, would Conor McGregor's just running for president? Do you say that? Is that something you don't even know what side they're on? You start something and they like it or they don't like it?
I mean, when I was in Ireland, the guy who's president now is like, he's almost like an Irish stereotype. Have you seen what he looks like?
No.
He's like 4'11". Like he looks like what you think like an Irish
carries a pot of gold.
President. Like literally, like he is a leprechaun, whatever. And so I was having some fun with that, and it's interesting because I was teasing him, but you could tell they really like him. So they were like laughing, but they were also like,
there was a little bit.
He's good.
Like careful.
Yeah, they're underdogs.
That's what they do.
I have a lot of Irish relatives. They're underdogs. They're amazed how much we love their country. But I would say that when you do ad lib something that's new that day that you thought of that day, and you get a laugh, then you're just kind of alive in the frame. I mean, I can tell by watching you, like, because then you're going to go into your tried and trues because that's how you do stand up. But every time you do something that's fresh, just lightens the whole show up, right?
Oh, it lights yourself up too. You think you're good.
Also, like Australia was kind of almost like cheating because I got to do like 4 or 5 shows before I did that one where I put out the Australia material. Like usually I just got to think of it the day of, but this was, I got to work it out a few days and like find the bits or whatever. So that's always fun when you're away, but it's just rare that you can go to a place where you just go to a country and tour 5 places.
And I just have to, because we didn't do this either, but you're taping, you have your specials, and then when you travel the world, you've got a 5-camera crew or something. Is that, and then you use it?
Yeah. I have my one guy, Shifty, who like edited the special, and he was like instrumental in like directing it. And he's this kid, he like started working with us when he was like 18 years old. He's like unbelievable. And he brings 5 cameras and then he just sets them up and then just hits record. So we don't have like this whole crew. We just have one guy that's doing it.
Also, it's a little less
looks
stressful.
like a special. I go, did he have another special I wasn't aware of?
But because that's the shit we can do now. It's kind of crazy, right?
It's very, very smart.
Well, it also takes away from the fear of, like, I just did mine. It comes out soon. I wanted you to have you on so I could plug mine, but no, it comes out, but
Andrew Schultz.
It's hard to do. It's hard to do the 2 in a row show. The typical sort of cookie cutter thing for comedians is get maybe a theater, 2 shows in one night, cut them together, do your best. And I didn't do any tricks really. I sort of regret it. I was just telling Dana before. There was no like super tricky way to get in, and then you're getting algo briefings like it's got to be the funniest in the first, and then all your bad material at the end. I'm like, what bad material? They're like, oh, you want us to tell you? And I'm like, no.
But no, they'll tell you. Hey, David,
like, you open with your closer, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? So you gotta just try to get them and all that stupid shit.
Yeah, I saw Bert talking about that a little bit. I think, yeah, like I don't know. I guess it's like I don't think any of us have ever opened with something bad.
Yeah,
you know,
you're supposed to open to get them going. That's the second hardest thing. Is a closer. Opener might be harder. You got to get them going, and if you don't get them going, you lost them. So
I went into the Inner Sanctum at
up.
Netflix, and they do every minute. You made it to 12 minutes or 13 minutes, so it's like as if you're playing a theater where constantly people are leaving. Like there's just you start out with whatever, and they're leaving, and by the end you've got like 12
you're playing
people.
Wembley, and
so you have to do a special as if every minute they want to go try and watch something else, you know. And so, but I think what you're doing is great. Just continue. I think
if you do like with mine, it ended up being a story. Like I didn't want to do a one-man show. I feel like, like it kind of is almost like that because there's like a serious moment or whatever. But I feel like sometimes when you say one man show, you're almost like asking people to like reduce their comedic expectations. So
or
like
to hate it. Yeah,
definitely.
Or to immediately fucking hate it. Yeah.
Fucking hate it.
Yeah. But if
it really is a one man show, but don't call it that.
Don't call it that.
But if you call it a one man show and they hate it, is because they're not smart enough. Didn't you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I mean, like,
right.
If you must not be smart enough to understand this high art.
Yeah, it's got a one man show.
Yeah,
it's so intelligent. You know.
Yeah. The guy who doesn't have jokes, he calls it a one man show.
Do jokes.
That's all. Fine. I don't care what one, but yeah, Jay is a purist and he understands that. So I kind of wanted to like almost trick people, and I wanted like just regular hard hitting jokes, and then eventually kind of like get into it. And what we found, I guess Netflix told us, they're like, the retention, like the watch through to the end, was like insanely high. Because they're invested in this story.
Oh, a story. It's like a long story.
Yeah,
it's like a phone call.
Yeah. So
that's
like
how you pitch it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna.
It's just like being on a phone call. That's fine.
You ever call your mom? Yeah, it's like that.
It's like that.
So that's the first time you really at the end you're being sentimental, specifically sentimental, and you're getting awes and stuff. You haven't tried that before, but it's interesting to land that.
I thought my life was boring my whole career. I was like, I thought like my opinions on shit were better than like anything going on in my life. So I never talked about anything personal. And then like when it was hard to get my wife pregnant because my sperm sucks, there was the only thing I could think about. So I started like writing jokes about it. And then, it ended up and it turned into this. So it was cool.
I saw a video of your sperms at the finish line. They're like this. They're not quite making it.
Yeah, they're just kind of falling.
It's a video that's going around. Yeah,
you got to see it, dude. It's just,
you got to see it.
People are tagging my sperm in like pictures of the governor of Texas.
I like that it's called Life instead of like Jizz Patrol or something. You could have really ruined it with the title.
They wouldn't be doing much patrolling. It's just more like they're just standing here and checking it. Looking for a mime.
Where's the egg? We got 10 minutes left. But I agree that it is funny. It's fun to tell stories because people will say, you should do this joke or this is a funny joke. And I do have some jokes in my act, but I do love telling stories because it's the only thing that's more of a fingerprint to you because I
you
do stuff about the airport. I do it about this and common denominators, but I'm trying to do my version of that. And longer stories are more fun for some reason, just maybe because I'm older to go, let me just tell you this thing. And then that's more true to me than going, I don't think anyone else is going to tell this story like this.
Also, like we get a sense of you, like your personality shines through because it's how you acted in that moment. But also I think that like, if somebody walks into a room and goes, guys, I got to tell you this story, we're going to give them 10 seconds. If it's boring after 10 seconds, we'll probably go. But everybody likes a story. It's like our earliest form of digesting information. Like if you just give me a bunch of facts, I'm going to kind of look the other way. If you tell me some shit that happened, I'm kind of locked in. Like I'm rooting for you in your story. When you tell me something happened, I want it to be good.
I hear a TikTok story from someone I've never met, and they started a story about a breakup with a guy, and I just sit there and stare. I'm like, why am I even fucking listening to this? But
it's like 30 minutes of
it starts, and everyone starts. I like it. I go, huh?
I've actually told young stand-ups who've asked my opinion in little teeny clubs, I said, pretend you just saw something on the street and you just came in to talk to your friends. Because usually when you tell a bit the first time, you're urgent about it and you're very specific.
Excited,
and then you start to lose it. And Jerry Seinfeld the says, check the setup. Check it out.
Troubleshoot it.
You got to check the setup because
put it up on the rack.
That is such a true statement. Like the first time you tell a joke, you think that you like and does well, you think it leveled the room. And then you go look at like the video audio and you're like, oh, like 5 people laughed, but it's just new to me.
One loud guy.
Yeah. And then it goes away. That's so true. Like the same joke, the same words, your excitement in it wanes a little.
Also, when you say one and you say it off top of your head, and if you didn't tape it, I mean, everyone's different, but I hopefully record it on my phone when I go to the Comedy Store or whatever, because when I audition these turds and then I smash them in between 2 jokes at work, and then I do one in the middle. But if it somehow works, I have to remember inflection, when it was in the set, how it worked, what happened, because sometimes I go, oh, I got that one. Next night I say it, nothing. And I go,
nothing.
What was the magic? What worked? And all that is so important.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll work on a joke and then get it really good. And the joke in your set that follows it can no longer follow it.
Oh, gets hurt by it. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not strong enough after how good this joke is. Yeah. Stand-up is the best.
Sometimes you got to tell your joke, I'm moving you up to closer. That's a great feeling. I'm going to try this. It seems to work enough. I'm putting it at the end. And you go, fuck, I have a new closer. Oh, that's so great. Because then the other one can do a little tent pole heavy lifting in the middle.
What's the deal when you guys go to the store? Like, do you have to respect the light, or are you just at a point where it's a suggestion?
Yeah, I go, how long to do? They go 15. I go, great. They go, when do you want the light? I go, at 30. But there's a lot of guys that get the light. I won't say names, but they literally get the light and then they start going
names. Come on.
So what else is going on? I go, no. That's not what else. That's wrap it up, guy.
When the elbow is up on the mic stand, and they've already done 20. Dude, that elbow
where are you
is
guys
up there.
From? I'm like, no, we know where they're from. We don't care. It's over.
This is my favorite shit. Like this thing that's like, and this has always existed, but it's really popular now. Like the comics pretending that they don't care. So they'll have like a notepad on stage and they're like, look, like, all right, what else do I got in here? And then they'll look at the page and then do a joke they did in their last special. It's just like, it's
fully formed bit. Yeah.
It's okay to care. We care. It's okay to try. We all try. We want to do well. You don't got to bring a prop on stage and fake leaf through it. Like,
by the way, it does better if you have a notebook, because there's something about going, guys, what do you think of this? And then you read and they're like, that's pretty good. And then you read and you relax. They go, well, not good enough for your real act, but for this little thing, you just thought of it. Sure, this wispy idea.
Yeah, keep working on that.
Do you guys when you do a group show at the Comedy Store and there's like 8-9 people, doesn't it become like a de facto competition? Like people, you're not even thinking about, oh man, you were one of the best tonight. Or you were this I don't really like
one of
group
shows.
Yeah, it's gross.
Bill Burr killed, man, but you did all right.
Do you do the store a lot or not?
When I'm out there, that's where I'll come.
Oh, right. You don't live. I was thinking, I don't see you there.
No, I'm in New York, man. So
So you just do that run. You have way more choices. You can run all over, right?
Yeah, I usually just do the Cellar and then New York Comedy Club. So Cellar has, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4
18
rooms?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like, it's literally like I got a kid now. So I can go there for an hour and a half and do 4 shows, or I can bounce around the whole city for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, let's get the work in.
I didn't realize that. That's fantastic. You go to one place basically and have 4 audiences, boom, 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 and then get out.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, know that.
It's kind of like Store has 3 rooms. So you guys bounce around.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Go upstairs, do the belly room.
I don't know. I don't practice much, but anyway, I'm down to the nubs. I mean, I'm like, the only thing worse than having hits is not having hits. So,
dude, you know what I've seen interesting? What I've seen now is that, like, you know how like everything in comedy just goes through these like cycles, and like people new to comedy don't get it because they haven't experienced like the last cycle. Like impressions are really popular now. Have you noticed that?
Well, for me, that's all I do, impressions and characters now. I'm not trying to tell anything, but just nail those.
No. What I'm saying is like we've known that about you for decades, and then like things go up and down in popularity. And I think like with Trump and probably Shane's does this amazing version. He does a great version of, and I think with the popularity of that, I've seen a lot of other people working in impressions. And there was times like when I was coming up where like people weren't doing impressions. Yeah. Like crowd work is really popular. There's time now everybody's like annoyed with crowd work, and like all these things, it's just so funny. Like all these things go up and down. Cause I remember early on impressions, like when I was coming up, like seeing like Eddie, your best friend, Eddie, go like crazy.
We are best friends.
Crazy.
I know, just teasing. I mean, it was amazing with the impressions. You know,
well, amazing that he didn't lean on him, but Daryl Hammond called him our best impressionist, but he was doing Pryor.
If you weave him into something too, it doesn't look like a big setup. You know, you're just like, they're like, oh shit, that sounds like
it's
that person.
It's a superpower.
Story. Yeah.
Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
We all love it. Like there's nobody, it's so funny, even watching comedians, like comedians, we can be like annoying with each other when like somebody's trying to be funny or like sneak in a bit. But when somebody does an impression that's spot on, everybody shuts up and just listens and enjoys. Like, especially if you can do another comedian that we're friends with. Do you have anybody that we know? That
someone's going to do Shane because he grabs the mic funny. And he goes,
Shane has a great laugh. Like I told Seinfeld that everyone has like a little bit of a laugh. With Richard Pryor, it was kind of a constant and Shane has a really good little giggle he does after every bit, and he holds it very much high like this. And he's a big guy, but I didn't really realize that, so I'm feeling better about myself right now. But do you have an impression you do or would like to do? Because maybe we can help you out with it now.
We can really coach it.
Like, let me try to think.
I'm bad too. If I can't do someone, I'm terrible. It's a very painful thing to try to learn.
It's selective. Like you can't just mimic everything.
At times, it takes me a long time. It took me a long time to get Biden. I would say like a year and a half. You know, some are easy. I don't really have any methodology other than exposure. I have to hear something a lot or hang out with someone a lot. I'll do Friends and stuff, but that's all. I don't have any. I just start talking out loud to myself, and it's terrible. And then finally, if it comes to me, it comes to me. But I don't have any. I see an impression I can't do, and I'm incredibly entertained.
You know what I've noticed is like sometimes I see people doing an impression of someone's impression.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, that's the best way. Yeah.
Yes, because like you've distilled the 4 things about the person that like he physically does.
Get those little hooks.
Exactly. And then, so you did the work, and then I see people doing, that's just a version of Dana's.
Right. They cracked the code. Dana cracked the code, and now you just.
But you don't get any credit for it. You don't get any credit for it, which is kind of fucked up.
The latest one I am doing, because it's kind of fun, is I've just extrapolated Jimmy Fallon into a thing that I like to, because I was hanging out with him at 8H1 in New York.
Let me see, Jimmy.
And I did Johnny Carson getting pulled for drunk driving. I've said this a lot, but in 1972, and it's where he what he had to drink and where he was drinking at. Oh, sorry, officer, I didn't know I was swerving. I had two slippery monkeys at the Hook and Crook. Okay, so that's the setup. And then Jimmy Fallon is like, oh my God, sorry, officer. It's insane. I can't believe it. Sorry, officer. So it's just this sound collage coming at me that was just pure distilled Jimmy Fallon. It was crazy. He
doesn't have to say much.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a sound. Like you could do this one. Christopher Walken sees an amazing magic trick. Just quick. Wow.
Wow.
There,
wow.
Wow. Yeah.
What was that? Yeah.
Didn't know where the rabbit went. It's like a language, you know. I mean, Kevin Pollak and others have wound down.
A classic
Walken.
Where when someone cracked Walken, it was like, fuck now it's on.
Here, right?
Everybody
they go to this next
has
level.
Walken now, and it's so fun. And he's so
What about
unique.
Goldblum? I feel like he talks in a unique way. Does anybody do him?
Yes. Elon.
Yeah, I think
Gold
Kyle Dunnigan does that
perfect
too. Yeah.
version of him. Yeah. I don't.
Elon Gold, Kyle Dunnigan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who's doing Elon Musk? Has anybody done Elon good? Because he kind of.
It's tricky. It's we're going to malls.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, Kyle Dunnigan.
You have to have a little stutter.
We're going to malls. I did it for 18 seconds on SNL. I just did him at a rally. Dog mega, you know, that kind of guy jumping around. But I'm still trying to learn it exactly because he is kind of soft spoken, mostly on podcasts. Thinks a lot. We've got to go to malls. We simply have to telephone malls. And he's thinking and the way he looks around. But I'm still coming on to that because there's two things. I mean, one is, you could do a perfect Biden the first month of his administration, but people wouldn't be assimilated to it. They need to kind of, you know. So we saw a lot of people saw Elon at the rallies first. Yeah. I've seen him on a lot of podcasts. So it's a work in progress, Andrew. I'll get back to you.
They're tough to crack some of that shit because there's not like something to bite into.
You know, my end was I used him as a setup for Trump to get a laugh. You know, I did it on Bill Maher. It's just, you know, he's like, Elon's there and Trump's there with the red tie. It's like, we're going to go to malls. We're spending too much money. We can't sustain it, all that. And then they say, Mr. Trump, and Trump says, what he said. He's a smart cookie. He's a tough cookie. He's a cookie crumble. So I just used him to set up Trump. You know?
That's it. It's word association with Trump. It's like every word's got to take you a little bit further away than the point that he's trying to make.
Even he just thinks of it as he goes on. He just word association.
He's a cookie, a smart cookie. He's a cookie monster. He's a Lorna Doone. You remember the Lorna Doones? Everybody loves the Lorna Doones. But Trump is
everybody loves them.
Everybody loves them, and that's one way to use it as someone who does impressions.
That is so funny. That is how he talks. Really, it's like every word reminds him. Everybody loves him. Love him. Gays.
He throws in gays.
Trump will never say so. So, you know, like anyone might run out a stream of thought. He never does. We're going to go with Lorna Doones.
It's like weak to him if you stop a thought. So he just keeps going.
Is weak. Yeah.
And repeating a phrase 5 to 10 or 15 times. Lorna Doone, Lorna Doone. Everyone loves Lorna Doones. You see the Lorna Doones, you look at them and you got them and they're like them. People like the Lorna Doones.
Take a bite. Yeah.
And it works for him. I want to ask you, because you interviewed him, because his dialect, it is so infectious.
It's so infectious.
He's a singularity.
And he knows how to use it. Like, for example, when he does that little like rev up sound, like, we're gonna do it. Like that. Like he's like injecting energy.
Yes.
Maybe he's slowing down and he feels himself. He's like, I'm getting tired. I gotta come back up.
Yeah.
But like
the fries are wearing off.
He called it the weave on the show, like what you guys are describing right now.
He named it on your okay.
And he was like, he's like, yeah, I call it the weave. It's like, I'm in here, I go out there, I come back here, and then I come all the way back around to the point that I was trying to make. And he goes, people think that I'm stupid that I do that. You actually got to be really smart to go all the way back out here and then come
Why would he say he's not dumb? It's so fun. It's surprisingly, it's a very smart maneuver.
So
yeah, I know. He is absolutely hilarious because you're just waiting for, okay, what is the point here? Where are we now? And then,
he's like keying into like he said something without trying to be funny that I laughed at. Like he goes, after he got shot, he goes, yeah, and it fixed me up. He goes, these country doctors, I'll tell you, and I laughed because like, it's funny. He thinks that there's regular doctors and country doctors, like that the doctors in the country are like these like overall wearing
like Little House on the Prairie. Yeah.
So I laughed at it and he clocks me laughing. And I swear to God, he hits it in the next 3 sentences. He's like, yeah, these country doctors. Yeah. Country doctors.
See if you'll nibble
he's like,
again.
Workshopping. Yeah. He's like,
he doesn't know what the funny part is. He goes, I went to the general store also.
Yeah.
So, because he got a laugh. Okay. He was kind of like wanting to understand what did I do right? Okay.
I like when he goes, someone asks him a question. He goes, another dumb question from an idiot over here. And it's just like, who says that? It's always, that's why comedians love him. It's just so funny. You go, who would ever say that?
You almost wish that he was just like, just make him like a royal figure so he doesn't have to be politicized. So that we can just laugh without there being any scrutiny because it's undeniably funny. Like it's just funny. Another dumb question from an idiot woman.
Question.
This woman is a terrible person, not polite at all.
You're not a smart cookie. You're not a smart cookie. I'll tell you that much. You know you're not. You're not a smart cookie. I can tell you. Look at this person. I know the guttural one is such a funny movie that I think is kind of new, but
Cookie, that's Magic Johnson's wife. How'd she not get it?
Cookie.
It's just what he's doing. Like, should we all just talk like that all day?
He casually goes, in Magic, having trouble with the blood work. But his wife's cookie, and they're like, what was that middle part?
They got to take a lot of tests. They take them all the time, and Cookie comes out.
He takes a lot of vitamins. He's back on his feet.
They're working. There's a lot of that breathing thing, too. But, yeah, there's so many hooks and so many things to do with that guy. It's extraordinary.
I have a special question, too. Oh, yeah, ask him more Trump. He's back on his feet. He's
back on his feet.
Yeah, and they're like, why was he laying down for a while? No, he's back. Magic is fully back now. And they're like,
he's back.
Now he is.
It's from 35 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
They worked out.
Still got it.
He got very strong.
They had to do a cocktail. They call it a cocktail of pills. It's a cocktail. Excuse me. They had to get the right cocktail. They got the right cocktail of pills, and that's he's okay now. But anyway, you got a question, David?
No, I was just going back to his special where you had it and then you bought it back, and I think that situation turned out to be, I heard different rumors, but highly successful.
Oh yeah, it ended up being the best. It ended up being the best thing for me. And
situation.
Like, I don't have any animosity, by the way, for Amazon. Like, I get what they had to do. Like, they made a business decision, and they're like, we don't want these jokes tarnishing the brand, and I get it. That's fine. I bet you it would be different now. Like, I bet just culture has kind of changed a bit.
Sure.
But yeah, I was able to put out, and the people were like so supportive, and it was incredible. And then people made a bunch of lies online about how I told them that it would never be available anywhere else. And even though I told everybody, if you can't afford it, just steal it on the internet, and then eventually it would be on YouTube. But it is what it is. You do something good and it's successful, and people are going to find a way to be upset about it.
And when you do something
really
like that,
and it was great.
Was it basically off your website? It's just a click and you pay.
It was like, there's this company called Moment House that was bought by Patreon. So essentially it's like, it looks like it's on my website, but they basically put their mask on my website. So you go to my website and it just kind of like almost forwards it to theirs. And then it almost just looks like, it looks like a Netflix or something like that, or any other place. And you just watch it.
Because Theo and I were talking about this for this indie we just did. And this is one of the things I brought up. I brought up your situation. I said,
I mean, you guys could, I think you'd kill it with that, but I also think that there's an appetite. I think there's an appetite for you guys now. I think that there's going to be a lot of excitement about that. I think people would pay for it 100%, but I think streaming is the way to go. I don't think movie theater is the way to go just yet.
It's a tough decision because I've done movies in movie heydays when it was like big weekends. You're up against this movie, you're up against this.
Yeah.
And now it's tougher. And when we were going over all the processes of what could be, because we sort of did it. Well, we did do it we just paid for it and said, absolutely no plan. Yeah. And it's kind of fun. And people think that's intriguing just because
it's awesome.
Someone's got to do it. It's like, okay, now what? And then just figure out what surfacing is the best situation. But, when you say theaters, I don't want any stink if something doesn't go perfectly right away because people back off. And I go, guys, I've been in movies that don't do well. It's fucking a dagger. And nowadays when it's all these superhero movies and, even if Snow White doesn't make $100 million the first weekend, they're pouncing on it. Obviously it's a budgetary discrepancy with ours, but it's just optics. Do you want to look like it's a hit? It's very hard to figure out all that stuff.
You're 100% right because you see like the theater empty and then people take pictures and it's very easy for them to like pan the film based on that. But dude, getting people to leave their house is almost impossible now. Like
that's the big trick. It's so easy not to leave your house.
You don't have to leave your house.
And also they don't even know if the movie's going to be good or not. Like at least with like a franchise like Batman, you're like, all right, I've seen a bunch of these movies. I'll get the babysitter. I'll take the risk. I'll go. Mm-hmm. But here's this movie where it's like, all right, well, I love all the people involved in it, but have I seen a movie where they're all in it together? I don't know. But if you put that on streaming, like for me, if that movie's on Netflix, there's no brainer the first week you're top 10.
Yeah.
No brainer. Because it's like the investment is so minimal. It's like if I'm a Spade fan, I'm watching. If I'm a Theo fan, I'm watching. I'm sure you guys have a bunch of other like cameos from people. Yeah. Like it's and then if it is good, the word will spread and you'll stay in the top 10 forever. But streaming.
But what do you recommend that they do? Do you actually audition it for all the streamers? So Netflix and Amazon and Hulu, they're all
you need two offers. You need two offers. You don't have one offer unless you have like even with my Netflix deal, I had one offer and then that offer changed significantly when we got another offer. Sure. And I don't begrudge them for it, but like they're not in the business of paying you what you're worth.
It's just biz.
Yeah.
Paying the minimum they can.
Yeah.
There's nothing like another suitor. It's the same thing with single people or something. But they want me too.
If I'm Amazon right now, like if I'm Amazon right now, and I know that like Netflix, I mean Theo did his last one on Netflix, right? So Netflix is like invested in building that guy up.
Sure.
I'm buying the movie just off the strength of just taking. I mean, brand war right there. So to me, that's just like a no-brainer. So I'd talk to them. I talk to Hulu. I talk to Paramount. Everybody.
Right. We've been asked about it from the streamers that have heard about it.
We could hire you to be our manager. Is that totally outside?
No, it's fun to think about it out loud because we haven't seen it. We're going to see it this weekend. This is the first time it's been rough together. So we liked it. We shot it. We liked the scenes. And I said, I've done a lot of these. I think it's got a chance. So let's see it all in a row. If it's how I picture it, we're in good shape. So, but the director's got it. You know how it works. And they get 8 weeks. So then we'll go in there and start fiddling with it. But I was like, I have a good feeling. And I've been asked about it from some streamers, like, can we look at it yet? And I'm like, we're not, we don't even know what we're doing.
Not there yet.
Yeah,
we're not there. Also,
and it's good because there is interest just because it's a weirdo move. But
if a comedy works, it's huge. How many
R-rated comedy?
Funny movies are made every year.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of know why they don't, but I think they've slowed down. I mean, Sandler is responsible for most comedies out there. Like he has a deal, so he either produces them or he's in them, and that's a big chunk out there.
Yeah,
and that's on streamers.
I think we're basically one successful R-rated comedy away from having like another decade of
barrage.
Really funny R-rated comedies.
Yeah.
So whether it's you, somebody else, it's going to take one. I feel like culture is at the point now where we can be naughty again.
Yeah, just give us one.
And if one goes, we're going to have some fun.
Then people start ordering them. Then they'll be
they have some edgy jokes in there. Spade has told me. I mean, funny, but definitely different than, But
you guys have been entertainment for, especially Hollywood, for long enough. Like everybody, what is it? They say it's a race to be second or something. Like nobody wants to put their balls on the line. To do the new thing.
Right. We'll make one thing happen, then follow. Then you go, okay, that works.
I was just going to ask the question or the observation that, like, looking at your stuff, like you coming up at this time, it's like you're the CEO of your career. You can either self-produce or not, or you're not asking for permission. You're not auditioning much. You're not trying to meet corporate entities to help you. You're the CEO of Andrew Schultz. And so that the freedom that people have with social media to pump everything, YouTube, is extraordinary. And I think it's great. It's a different world than what we came up in.
Yeah, there's a lot more freedom, that's for sure. And like, if now is the time, if you just want to create shit, to do it, obviously like making films and TV shows is so expensive that, you got to find a way to raise some money. You guys are able to do it, but you guys are all rich, successful dudes,
Well, we put most of it ourselves. So, and that's a good way, amazing. If you can, to just say, you want to just greenlight this right now and go.
And I think fortune favors the brave, whatever that cliche is. I think it's true. And I think that basically everybody's afraid to do cool shit, but once it's there, everybody wants to buy it. So I don't know what you guys spent on it, but you guys decide the price. Like,
right.
You could, why is it not $100 million movie? Who fucking knows? Like,
right. If it's going to do, I remember when they were paying a lot for comedy specials out of the blue. Remember? I think the top was
they've got like 20 million or something like that, 30 million a clip. Mm-hmm. Like
it used to be like insane. 2-3 million, whatever was the biggest. And then suddenly it jumped huge. And I asked someone at one of those streamers and they said, because if we do a movie with that person, it will cost us 20 to 30 million. So we're paying 20 and we're going to use 4 times the views on a special than a movie. So it's really saving us money in a weird way. And I was 100%. Like, well, I didn't look at it that way, but they could have gotten them everybody for cheaper. And I think they got back down to earth after a couple of those.
Real quick.
It was
I think it shifted.
Too big.
Yeah.
I remember when Amy got 11 and said it was not enough. And she said, why aren't I getting 20? And I'm like, wow. And she got, I think they kicked her some more. And I was
no
like,
way.
Fucking, yeah. Well, because it was going out there and saying that would look bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when you could kind of use the, you could use like sexism or racism for a little extra
it's
scratch.
hard to say with its Rock and Chappelle. I mean, it's ballsy to step forward and say, give me that. We're the same. I mean, I'm not there.
It lets you know where you are in the ecosystem of show business when people are getting 20 or 30 and then you
it's
get
all
your
supply
offer.
and demand. If you're like, worth it, they're going to give it to you.
I got it.
They know what they're doing.
I understand.
If somebody else is going to offer it to you, that's the thing. If somebody else is going to offer it to you, do you know where you're going with this one that you just filmed?
Yeah.
Or can you mention or?
I don't think I can because we have a press release coming out this week.
Got it.
Is it a done deal or is it just a possibility?
I shot it already. Yeah, I shot it. Comes out in May. So, but I'll tell you. Oh,
you're special. Yeah.
But I will tell you that when I did the HBO, when we were talking about earlier, the Take the Hit one, and it was noticeable for me. And then it took me all this time, and I did a Comedy Central one, and it was like it didn't happen. Actually, I used Dana as an example because Dana was like, I keep trying to watch it, but I have to get on an app and then I have to sign up and then I have to go here. And I'm like, I can't even find it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not easy. Like they air it once at midnight or something and then they air it a month later. And it's not like you can just get it like on a stream.
Yeah.
So
they got caught up.
It almost burned my material because I'm like, can I just do this again? Because
dude, if I were you, I would, unless it exists on YouTube or something like that. I would just use some of the stuff that you really
I wasn't even doing
clips.
Special. It was right before Clips. So Clips would have helped it. Like, hey, at least I could clip it out and say, come to my next show. But I'm like, I
would use some of that if you're not. I mean, there's like, I'm pretty sure like Chappelle used a joke he did in an earlier thing in a later thing. I mean, it's like an amazing, it's one of my favorite jokes that he's ever written, but it's and I think he even made it like better, but it's the joke about, it's like hard being successful in black. Like, I remember my house got broken into. Like, these people came in, robbed my whole house, called the police. They showed up and they're like, he's still here.
Yeah.
It's fucking genius.
By the way, how about you do a joke that's a little undercooked in a special, and then you still do it for a while on the road before it comes out? And I'm like, sometimes I still do them because I go, this thing is 6 minutes long now. It's so much better.
I agree.
And people go, oh, I think you did that. I go, I actually didn't. I did 30 seconds of preview.
That. Yeah, you got some
now it's
very
a full,
early version.
You got a 3-month-old versus a full adult. Yeah, and I go, plus who cares? That's the thing is like, is everyone really going, thank God I got this all new mediocre material. Thank you.
That's what you got to tell the audience when they complain. Like, you think this is bad?
Yeah.
Let me do the whole hour of new.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, here's some new shit for you. But it's hard to, they're like, just throw together another hour. I go, relax with that casual, throw together an hour. You're good. I go, fuck, you got to get out there and grind it out and practice. It's hard.
Yeah, it takes time, man. You also got to have some shit you want to talk about. Like,
yeah.
I take time off. Like after I felt like I haven't gone on stage since I recorded. I went one time or something like that. And that's been months. I probably won't go on for a little bit. I'll like live a little, experience shit, see what I want to talk about.
Do people yell out stuff to you in your act? Like if they go, Diddy, what do you think of Diddy? And you have to go, do you have to have something?
Yet. I'm not there. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, they will do a topical thing.
Yeah.
But that's also like that would only happen if I'm like just kind of meandering or not. Like if I'm doing well, usually there's not suggestions.
If you're talking to the audience, do they feel like it's open season to talk from back here when you're talking to this person up here? Does that get hard to do?
The last special I did, like the last one before this, I did a lot more like crowd work and stuff like that. And then I was putting out these like clips that were crowd work. And it was just like, it was the only thing that I could generate weekly. Like for me, when I write a bit, it takes like a while to make it a good joke and add tags and all these other things. I didn't want to give it away, but they just would go viral and whatever. So people were coming out and kind of expecting that. So at this special, I purposely barely do that at all as like a way to just go, hey, I get why you thought there would be a lot of crowd work because I put out all these crowd work clips. Now you see this whole hour. Now I want you to potentially expect this with maybe some interactions, but it's not going to be just interactions the whole time. Because it's very easy where like, and I've seen this happen, like the algorithm can make you decide what kind of comedy you want to do instead of you deciding. And I think sometimes people fall victim to that. Like, something does really well, so they go, well, I guess this is what I do now. And it's like, no.
Sure. But that's good of you to switch it up because it's hard to go in there and write a whole hour and not have any crutches because sometimes you could go in and just with a few things get things right back but it's hard to go out there and practice long sets of nothing. It's just
you're bombing and it's brutal. And
if you're at the store here or even when you're at the cellar, like when I went on last time, it was Nate was there and Chris Rock was there. And you just go, I'm not going to try new shit because there's always someone there watching and you go, do I want them to go, yeesh? And I go, it's a little undercooked, but there's something there. But they just go, I just remember you bombed.
I think a lot of people liked it, man. I think a lot of people were liking what you were doing out there.
Oh, when I did that night, it was fun. But when
that was me doing someone talking to you after the show.
Yeah. No.
I thought it was instead of great, they switch it to good right in the middle.
It was good.
That was
good.
When I followed Dana and I just did a gig together, and when he come off after Annihilating, I have to follow this fucking asshole, and they're like killing. And then he comes off all excited and I go, hey, fuck that crowd. And he goes, huh? I go, look at it. It's not your crowd. Those jokes are funny, man. Don't second guess yourself.
Why are they fucking standing?
Just
That's
walk
what I
around in
told you.
circles in the green room.
Yeah. I'm trying to fuck with his head right before I get out there.
Yeah, not all crowds are going to be smart. You know, just like,
they don't get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
When did you have that turn where you're like, God damn, I'm getting really, really good at stand up?
I think it's
was it gradual or was it?
I think you feel good and then you go up after Greer Barnes and you're like, am I good? You know, like you see people do it that are just incredible. You're like, am I? Or like, even when I was editing the special, like watching your own comedy a 1,000 times,
it's sickening.
You're like, what, is any of this funny? Like, it's actually kind of nice because then when it comes out and people go, wow, this was so funny, you're like, oh, really? Like, phew.
Yeah. Editing is horrible.
Watching yourself do stand up.
Oh, gross.
The worst thing in the world.
They're like, should we push in? I go, push out the door and burn this fucking thing.
Push in.
Come closer.
God damn, what?
That's for a horror movie. That's not a comedy.
That's for fucking Saw 3.
It's the cowboy shot, you know?
Yeah, keep it loosey-goosey.
That's how I edit. That's how I edit comedy, though, by the way, like a horror movie.
What do you do? Go push in?
For drama and stuff?
It's like, tension, release. Not as exaggerated, but like the same idea of like, I don't, like, for example, like some people, the director on mine, like for the first take, he was doing like a line cut, I think it's called, like where they cut it.
Yeah. Kind of live. Yeah.
Like, buddy, there's no way you don't have my set memorized. There's no way you could guess the right angle to go to. You don't know which way my head turn. Like, why are you wasting your time with this? Like, it makes no sense. What was we said? It's like catching a fart with chopsticks. Like comedy, I don't know where my head's going to go. So it's like what we do is make sure all the cameras are filming it, and then we get in the edit, and then we make sure that I'm not jumping out in the middle of a setup.
Yeah.
That's right. Distracting.
They can kill jokes. Go on your back all of a sudden. You're like, whoa. Bro, what are we doing?
Have you seen that? You're watching somebody's special and it's like in the middle of a punchline, they cut to the back of their head.
Yeah.
Or like the start of the setup is on their back. And you're like, why would I? Has anybody ever told you a story and turned around first?
And you pay more attention?
You know what it is for
me?
Is sometimes you're watching it like someone is watching it sitting in a magic chair and they're watching the special and all of a sudden they're flying way back up in the auditorium. And then our guest today, who is our guest today? Let everybody know. David.
Andrew Schultz, pretty big comedian out there. A guy I don't know really well. I do think he's very funny though. And I've checked in with him here and there. He was on the roast with Tom Brady. That's how a lot of people would maybe know him on a bigger scale, even though he does do theaters all over, of course. Big comic out there, has a podcast. Kind of a controversial guy, which is good. Shakes it up. And a lot of fun. We had a great chat with him. Mostly, we talked a lot about stand-up and a lot about how to film specials, how to sell them, and what works out there these days.
Yeah, two interesting things. One is he is very much a powerhouse out there. He's very high energy and he steps outside the lines. He's definitely edgy, extremely funny. Then we got him on our show and he's kind of sweet and humble. It's sort of funny when you see this dichotomy of the performer and his real personality. Number two, he says he plays arenas regionally. But he's huge in Dubai.
Oh yeah, he did Dubai.
Huge in Australia, and so he films a lot of stuff even between his specials. So he's a one-man band. He's an ecosystem. He's a business. He's very savvy and smart about stand-up. And like David said, a minute ago, his special takes a turn, and it's a sweet story about him and his wife trying to make a baby.
And
all the stuff that happens. Life on Netflix.
Right. And he's got good hair. Check out Life. And here's Andrew Schultz.
Thank you. This is a huge honor, guys. I just want to let you know this is a huge honor. I'm sure you guys get this all the time, but I really appreciate it.
Let's see. When Wayne's World came out, you were 8 or 9. Yeah, so I get it.
I'm 41. So
41, so, yeah. but you read at a 44-year-old level. I understand.
I'm high.
Yeah, but your specials are awesome. They're powerful, man. And I guess it's your generation, but the beginning of the recent one on Netflix is so cool, where you come out, you land 2 jokes, like a cold opening, the way it opens, and your dad introduces you, and then it's a shot behind, and it just says the name of the special, gigantic. Yeah. I mean, it's like we would crawl out in the 90s. It would just, what's up? It's just like, it's an event. How
much control did you guys even have with like how specials looked when you guys were doing
None.
Was it so HBO would just be like, hey, show up, do the material, and then we'll handle it?
You know, I remember Backdrop. What do you want your backdrop? I had an old one called Take the Hit, and they said, I want to do it in Arizona. And they said, what do you want your backdrop to be? And I'm like, cactuses? I mean, it's like so fucking stupid. But it was like a desert. Yeah, it was just like, I go, maybe live coyotes. But what happened is no one actually looked at the back. And also you just wanted to be enough to not take away from what you're doing, or you disappear in the back, what you're wearing. So it's all complicated. It's just, is it any good?
What was it like, So back then,
I love guests that ask questions. I really
do. Then.
No, I love that. You're curious.
Because like, okay. Because like I was coming up at like the downfall of the Comedy Central special.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, there was a moment like when I was young, I remember like the Deliriouses. I remember watching like Martin, Chris. Like I remember these like events. I remember going to watch a Martin Lawrence special in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Like they were just these like big insane spectacles, right?
Yeah.
And then like the Comedy Central like half hours, I think it was like, you know, you would try to get premium blend. I remember that. And then maybe you get a half hour, then maybe you get an hour. Premium. And I remember like those like impacting people's careers less. When you guys were doing like your first specials, was it like the next week you couldn't walk down the street? Were you already so famous it didn't matter? Like, could you feel people watched it?
Mine came out, I'll just answer this, in 96. I'd already been on SNL, and it was an analog world. So just to be pithy, I never, I don't know how you name your specials. I just called it Critics' Choice.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
5 stars. So for years, my sister would call me, and then I was on cable TV, Comedy Central, playing on a loop. She goes, you got Critics' Choice again. So, but it was it was a much bigger impact then.
Yeah.
So you felt it. You felt like it was appointment viewing. People were watching.
Once it got off.
Hello, flies.
Come in. We're going to be more official now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm David Spade.
And I'm Dan Glarney. We have Andy Samberg, who's people have been asking about Andy to have him on because he's one of the greats of SNL that's been around. There's a certain pocket there that he had a great run on. Then he went to Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And we talk about that. We talk about Hotel Transylvania. We talk about all his videos he did.
The process and how he got on Saturday Night Live. His experiences with Lauren. We asked him some questions. Maybe go some places you wouldn't expect.
Or you wouldn't like.
David had some nice rejoinders about the Vanity Fair party. And that's just a bonus part of the episode.
I do have a celebrity crush on Kate Blanchett. I will say that. You know,
Kate Blanchett.
Actress, she's great.
She
great
got
everything.
Brad Pitt in a headlock at the Oscars backstage. I heard.
We'll expand on that lie.
But Adam Samberg, very friendly, nice guy, funny. We talk about Mark Wahlberg. We talk about Dick in a Box.
Yep. Talk about the Lonely Island stuff. Pop Star the movie, and he's just got a lot going, and he was super fun, good mood.
Yep.
I loved it. I had a great time with him. He came in, a lot of people don't come in. He came in and gambled with his health by being around 2 idiots, and great time. So here he is.
Here he is.
Samberg.
Adam Samberg. Oh shit. Andy. I did it twice. Fuck
He
me.
did say.
All right.
He did say.
He said it happens all the time. Even his wife calls him Adam Sandberg. Let's start over. Well, we'll just keep this, of course. I mistake Adam Sandberg with Andy Sandberg with Adam Sandler. Say that 3 times fast.
I mistake Adam Sandberg.
No, Adam Sandler.
No, I know.
Andy Sandberg 3 times.
Toy boat.
Adam Sandler and Andy Sandberg. Adam Sandler, Andy Sandberg.
We'll give away one joke. He said he got introduced. He was doing stand up, and they messed his name up so bad. They just introduced him as Adam Sandler. And everyone, what the fuck?
Yeah. And he crushed as Sandler. What are you doing?
He did kind of the same thing where you were on the show and then you went to a sitcom pretty quickly. Was it right the next season?
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And then it was just Mike Schur asked, and I was like, oh shit. I saw what he did with Polar, and I was like, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of went in.
Polar doesn't go down for anybody. I love Amy Poehler.
She doesn't what?
She doesn't go down for anybody.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I just said it as a joke. She's powerful. She's a great comic.
No, when you leave the show, it's very scary. And then they said, which I used to say was, you get like one kind of free shot. You know, like if you jump off the show, they go, do you want to? Back then, it was a little more going on in that world. Like they said, do you want to do your own sitcom?
Oh yeah.
Like Pauly Shore got one. You know, you get one, but it's very hard. It's riskier. And then Just Shoot Me was already shot. It was already at the upfronts. And they picked it. And then Laura San Giacomo was out there to announce it. And the night before, they pulled her and said, it's just, we need one more thing to this. So it was so weird. So I got to see the whole pilot.
Oh, wow.
And then the guy was from Larry Sanders, which I loved. And the writer, Steve Levitan. And then
never heard
he
of
said,
him.
you want to add?
If we just add you to hear about him anymore.
That's wild. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, so I said, I got to see it, which has helped. And I go, oh, I'm coming from the most competitive, toughest, funniest people in the world. Not that they weren't funny, but they're all actors. And I go, oh, there's no one like me here. You know, I had a Dana there, and I had everyone better than me. And I was
Thank you, David.
Yeah, and so no, I'm saying because he's great. And you go, wow, when I'm not in a room with Sandler, Rock, Farley, Mike Myers, Dana, and I go, these guys are just great actors and funny, but there's not one like me exactly. I could sort of jump out. George Siegel said, it's 4 actors in a cartoon. That's what he used to say about me. And I go, thanks.
You were the Fonz. You guys, it was kind of cool. It's an observation.
Yeah.
Brooklyn. What was the name of yours again?
Just Shoot Me.
Just Shoot Me.
I'm sorry. You guys also you were the stars, you were the Fonzes, but you had an ensemble.
Yeah, that's
and
the
so
fun
that's
part.
not like hanging out in a movie. You can't do it. You can do it on live streaming now. If no one sees it, no one cares. But in those days, like movies, you're hung out there. But I thought those shows
people
were great.
see it, and it was like you and your experience. I think I did know you were. Is it CBS Radford, right?
Yeah,
that's where you shot it.
Same stage.
So you got into it, and you somewhat hesitantly, but you jumped in. You did your best because once you say yes to something, right?
Yeah, you got to try and make it good.
Mm-hmm.
Did you write on that? And you're going to be writing just casually, but were you officially writing?
I never was like in the room or had my name on a script.
Isn't that great though?
But weren't you able to go,
They give you good stuff anyway, and it works anyway.
That's the craziest feeling coming from SNL is having someone hand you great jokes, and you're like, wait, I get to just have these? And then everyone thinks I thought of them?
And then they go, how do we make these better for you? You're like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
We were both stand-ups. That was a revolution for me. If Bonnie Turner gave me, the church lady can say this, wow, awesome.
Yeah,
it's
true.
Great.
It does happen at SNL. It takes a couple of years before someone gives you a great joke, though.
Well, he came out of the gate huge. And
thank you, David.
It's true.
I think Andy
this is my favorite podcast.
Had to work a little bit, but you get on there.
He came out of the gate and revolutionized Saturday Night Live. But we can get to that thing.
We'll get to that because that's
in the live show, though. I did not come out of the gate strong.
But you revolutionized the thing, right? YouTube comes out, SNL's still going.
Yes,
and then you came in with your buddies, and it went boo.
It was fortuitous timing. I like to say with the YouTube stuff because. You know, it started with like Albert Brooks doing short films and McKay did short films, and it was like a long history of it at the show that we
Schiller
loved.
Vision.
Exactly, Schiller Vision's great. Even like the Eddie Murphy stuff, with doing like White Like Me, where he was like walking around town. Like there's always cool pre-tapes. We just were like, we're gonna do them every week.
It's hard though.
SNL Digital even got a name.
Yeah,
it's like a exciting idea.
Yeah, and they it was the first one was Lazy Sunday, if I'm correct.
It was the first one people liked.
Do you think you blew up YouTube or YouTube blew you up?
I think we are responsible for YouTube, and they owe us a lot of dough.
I knew a guy who was trying to do YouTube, and he was like 6 months late. He had all the technology there.
He's going to do a YouTube.
Yeah, wow. YouTube, and then YouTube came out, and then I was with him, and he was trying to think of a name. He had Grouper. Mm-hmm. And then a friend of mine renamed it Crackle, and Sony bought it.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
But YouTube is such a perfect name, like DocuSign. You have to sign documents. I own DocuSign stock. Sorry, I shouldn't be promoting my portfolio.
I mean, I interact with DocuSign a lot.
I do too.
I think I love you. You know that.
Danny gets a penny.
I eat a penny? What?
No, you get a penny every time someone signs something.
Does an angel get his wings? No, I do. So YouTube was only out about 6 months, right?
Maybe that sounds about right. I mean, we hadn't heard of it until someone told us they just watched Lazy Sunday on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
And then we were like, what's that? And then we realized, someone finally thought of an actual good layout for streaming videos. Because there had been tons of websites trying to do it.
Yeah.
And especially like comedy shorts and like that kind of thing. And we would submit to websites, our Lonely Island stuff that we were making.
Before SNL.
Before SNL, yeah. And we had our own website that we like somehow finagled server space on, to run it.
Right around broadband was starting to come in, right?
I don't know.
Broadband, I heard, was starting to come in.
Yeah,
so then YouTube it was perfect timing.
Yeah, and you got to keep, they just eradicated measles. But we heard of YouTube, and then like the next week put all our videos on YouTube because we were like, oh, this is the best version.
Shovel them on there.
Yeah, it finally works.
You found a spot.
Yeah.
I just want to get the pronunciations right.
It's Andy. By the way,
I set him up.
Andy's name, your name was David.
I want to say,
listen to this thing. This is what someone told me. Look, his name was Andy.
Somebody told him.
And they called him David. No, his name was David. And my brother's name is Andy. And my name's David. You can't make this. Yeah, you could. You could make it.
Was your friend? Was the person who told you Wiig?
Adam Sandberg?
Last name Apedia?
Yeah, it was Wikipedia. It was printed out. But I know about you. I just didn't know that.
That's okay, but your bandmates from 8th grade.
It's a little
Akiva.
smaller than
Akiva, Schaefer, and Yorma.
Yeah. And Yorma Taccone.
Jeez, talk about
Akiva,
Wikipedia
Schaefer,
over
Yorma,
here.
Taccone.
Taccone, with N's.
Too.
But it's his fault for having that name. Like people,
I was Danagarny for years, and no one ever got it right.
You were what?
Danagarny.
Danagarny?
No one knew his name.
Who's up next to stand up?
Well, by the way,
Danagarny.
I've been.
Oh, you must have been.
I'm Adam. Everyone thinks I'm Adam because of Sandler.
Oh yeah.
Even
like, hey, Adam Sandberg.
Oh right.
Sometimes Andy Sandler.
Yeah.
One time I was doing stand up before I got SNL, and someone literally introduced me as Adam Sandler. And everyone went, ah! And I walked out. I was like, no. That's not my name. I'm so sorry. I also like him.
No, I got introduced as David Bowie once. David?
I got introduced. Here's my one they mess up.
David Bowie.
I go to the Improv a couple times a week just to give them a little treat,
Oh, yeah.
And then
give them a taste of the magic.
They go, what do you want to say? And they go, I go, just say, because the last movie on Netflix was The Wrong Missy. I go, just say The Wrong Missy and some other shit. And they go, got it. And they go, this guy was in The Right Matilda, The Quiet. And I go, why is that one so hard? They say it wrong every single time. You say it wrong, too.
I came up during the Rough and Tumble Club days. My biggest intro from Tony DePaul, the Holy City Zoo, and I'm a nervous stand-up. Here he is, Danagarny, the man who invented the blowjob. That was the first one. that was it.
And you're like, I didn't ask him to say that.
That's a great
Or
one.
he'd say, some people think he's funny. I don't know about that. It was Rough and Tumble.
Yep.
40-seater.
They're trying to nag you on the way up.
40-seater. And then Rob Williams would come in. I just wanted to play, and he'd do like 3 hours.
I'm going back to Brooklyn.
I want to go back
to listen to this Brooklyn Nine-Nine thing because he got up for an Emmy. I think he won an Emmy.
2 Golden Globes.
Globies.
Who does his homework?
Oh. I got some Globies back when that meant something.
Sure. Do you want to hear people say, don't ever talk about yourself on the podcast, but guess what? So here's what's going to happen.
All right.
So I'm in the audience, and they go,
right now.
Golden Globe. By the way, we're back in fucking Azusa. They keep the people from TV, the Golden Globes on TV. Tom Cruise is up front. I'm on the third deck where I have to take 2 elevators to get to the stage. They know I'm not going to win. So, and a trolley.
Nighttime, so you're having
so I'm back
cocktail.
there and they go, but it was a harder supporting category. It was against Don Cheadle. It was against every supporting category on TV
what was
and movies.
the category?
Supporting in anything.
For your show. Okay.
Yeah, for just shooting. Got it. So I'm up against Gregory Peck, Don Cheadle, a guy from ER. It's drama, comedy, everything. So I already won because I just got that far.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So they go,
no, but seriously, Gregory Peck, that's not a joke.
He beat me. He did 90 seconds in Moby Dick, and he goes, I can't believe I'm getting it. Award for 90 seconds. I'm like, no fucking shit.
Gregory Peck.
I slugged out 148 episodes. Anyway, and then at the Emmys, they go like this.
David Spade. I'm Gregory Peck. Sorry.
I just spot on.
People
as I know Peck, that sounds like
that's Peck. Everyone listening is going, it's not close enough to an old person.
I met him once, so what happens?
So at the Emmys, they go like this. This is supporting in comedy, and they go, David Hyde Pierce. And if you saw the slow motion of my shoulders go up, and I went back down and then went for an applause. And I was like, did anyone fucking see that false start?
Yes.
And it's like, everyone saw it.
I do feel like I like it when people react negatively when they don't win.
It's real.
I feel like you can do it and everyone will think it's funny, but also you can just be honest about that.
I would just mouth, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
At least you're doing something comedy.
How many times were you nominated? You won twice.
I was, for Brooklyn Nine-Nine, that was the only nomination and win was the show and me that year, and then never again nominated.
That's weird.
Yes.
Politics.
Why were you bad after that?
I just didn't care.
As I poured.
Your nickname was Phone It In on the set, I heard.
I just didn't care.
Yeah.
You won. You go,
on the call sheet, it says Phone It In.
It just turned into a paycheck. I was like, fuck this and everything about it.
Have you seen these shows like you notice the Emmys? Because they sort of lost a little bit over the years, but let's say it's still exciting. So they win something, and someone that wins on a show or a comedy, and then the next year they get canceled, and you go, that's a mind fuck. Like you just won, you go, at least we have a little job security here.
You're talking about the show got canceled.
Like the show, somebody wins or the show wins and then the show gets canceled, and you go, what happened in that?
You're like, I guess it wasn't good.
Right, you go, not only are we not up for one, now we're canceled 1 year later.
Do you think they like hide that Emmy in the closet and like shame it?
It's sad, yeah. I would take it out on the Emmy.
Oh, you happy, Emmy?
You happy?
You ain't all that, Emmy.
You got the Emmy curse.
You stay in there.
There's a little Nicolas Cage sneaking in there for your fans. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
We can talk plenty about that.
We can talk about that. It's hard to go. You have so much, but the cool thing is you did 152 episodes. Your first kind of thing. I do my homework.
I love it.
I went to state school.
I didn't know that I did 152
I'm
episodes.
a Bay Area guy like you, so
I know that's
I throw
true.
down for you.
But not anymore. Do you still stay up there?
I have a house up there.
In what area? We don't have to
Marin
use this.
County.
Oh, I love Marin.
That's stunning.
What's the address
My
again?
wife grew up there. We can do a little childhood stuff for a sec. So what town did you grow up in?
In Berkeley.
Oh.
Well,
I
you
was
look so disappointed.
Love Berkeley. Used to go to the track meets there. My first stand-up set was on Telegraph Avenue at
Are you
the
serious?
La Salamandra Cafe.
Oh, that rules.
Hippie place.
He's hating this.
So were you kind of raised like a hippie, or just?
Yeah, a little
jump
bit.
in here.
A little bit.
How many kids? Just you were the only one?
I have 2 older sisters.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Baby Andy.
Sandberg's got cool hair, which always infuriated me, but
Do you think I do right now?
it's pretty cool still, yeah.
Sick.
No, you're good looking dude.
You have hair and you have a jaw.
Yeah.
You guys, this is
I
making
need a
me
lot
feel
of
good.
work up here, and I even Burt Lancaster told me, "How can you be a movie star? You've got no chin." That was a quote from Burt Lancaster to me.
What does he gain by saying that to you?
Exactly.
He got mad because
He was a dick back.
I jumped out of my chair so he could sit in my chair. He was 73.
Yeah.
And he's coming over. I jumped out. He thought I patronized him. You motherfucker. Don't
Where
you
was this?
jump out of a chair for me again. This was Tough Guys. Year before I got SNL, I played the parole officer with Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But anyway.
You know, when I beat Greta Thunberg at the Emmys, she goes, "How dare you?"
Good one. How dare
I swung back for that weak joke. But go ahead.
How dare
it was a good.
you.
It was worth it.
Who's going to be married to that woman? How dare you not clean your plate? How dare you?
She doesn't have to get married to find happiness. I just want to point
That's true.
Did you have it like an artistic childhood, and was there stuff going on in the house with your mom and dad, or how did you and your 8th grade buddies get so into comedy?
We just were. I don't know.
You just met these guys like soulmates, right? And
yeah, actually, I just found a letter I wrote myself. It was like a 3rd grade exercise when I was 8, where they're like, write a letter to yourself what you think you'll be in 20 years. My mom just sent this to me.
Wow.
From the basement. And it was like, I'm going to be a famous comedian and I'll be married and I'm going to have 2 kids. And I was just like, oh shit, it's all exactly what happened.
How cool.
Wow. That's how old were you?
8. I don't know why. Honestly, it started, not to blow smoke, but I used to sneak into the TV room in our house and watch the Saturday night's main event, the WWF wrestling thing. And it was only on once a month.
He wasn't on that.
And every other time it wasn't on, it was SNL. So by accident, I started watching SNL because I was like, oh, it's not on, but what's this? And it was right when it was your first cast. And that's when I got into the show.
So you were like, 12 or something, or 10, 12?
I mean, honestly, I might have been like 8.
Yeah. Fucking shit.
Trying to think.
Wow, that's cool.
I'm 44.
I'm glad I didn't fuck up. So I didn't make you want to quit. Like, that guy's
No,
such
I was like,
dick.
you can do this? This is allowed? I want to be like that guy. I'm pointing at you right now for people because you can't see us, but I'm pointing right at you, Dana.
We can never forget that. I mean, it'll hit me sometimes. If you're up there in a costume on a stage somewhere doing something, you go, this is my job, really.
It's the greatest.
Also, somebody's
right now
watching.
I'm working.
I mean, you guys probably grew up watching SNL.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't
Possessed.
that different from how it was for me and my
For me to run into Dan Aykroyd at the show was just nerve-wracking.
Yeah, and then he talks to you about his vodka for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, well, you don't have to leave the show. Yeah, you talk about investing. He was an investor early on.
It's insane to bump in anyone from that original cast. It's crazy.
When they
They're
walk
the
in your
rock stars.
office, you ever see them walk around the offices? And Aykroyd came in, knock, knock. All right, sir. Fair enough, sir.
That's right.
He's good about it too. Aykroyd's very like, I liked what you did. I thought it was very funny. And you're like, holy shit, this is crazy.
Every time I run into him, he goes, the church lady was kind of, sir, it was sort of a perfect comic character. If I see him at the 50th, I'm waiting for it. I go, hey, Dan, what about
Did you go to the 40th?
I was at the 40th.
Yeah.
Fun, right?
I did a video with Sandler. We did the thing about everyone breaking.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. They put it in Shit Can Alley, but it played well online.
Shit Can Alley.
You mean
first of all, that should be your next musical video, Shit Can Alley.
Do you mean you presented it from a bad spot on the stage?
No. I did not make that up. People used to talk about at the table read if you were in the second half of the read.
Right.
In the middle of the second half, that's Shit Can Alley where nothing plays because everyone's exhausted.
Yeah.
And then once everyone knows there's 1 or 2 left, they laugh again.
Yeah, it's not bad to be the
But you and Sandler,
end.
it got on, right? Of course.
It aired, and it played well, but it was like people were partying already and drinking and walking around.
I think Mike and I went on last, didn't we? Wayne's World?
Were you dead last?
I thought we were dead last.
That's great. Well, see, but that's a good spot.
Then they're waking up going, it's almost over.
Yeah. I said we should be either really angry or really flattered. I said that to Mike right before he went out.
I think probably a little of both.
It worked out.
You know, it was interesting. I probably shouldn't say this.
Say anything you want to me or David.
It was such a comedy room, and people are so fucking like SNL competitive that like the monologue opening thing was Timberlake and Fallon doing like SNL through the years, and it was like a full on crowd pleasing showstopper.
Yeah,
and half the room was kind of like arms crossed, like. And I was like, Jesus, I don't want anything I do to air in this room.
We're all wounded little clowns. Yes. If he does good, then I don't do good.
And everyone at home was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Dude, I was doing bye-bye and Jane Curtin was yelling, fuck you to me from the front row.
Yeah, take your own advice and skedaddle.
Jane Curtin of all nice
Jane
people.
Jane Curtin was cool.
She's wonderful.
Will you be at the 50th? We ask everybody.
If I'm invited, I gotta go, right?
Okay. You're going to be invited.
You never know at this point. I heard there's no +1s.
That's always weird.
So my wife's not coming?
Wait.
That won't go down well.
I heard there's no +1s.
You weren't at Vanity Fair the other night, right?
I didn't go because of the knee.
Oh, the knee.
I just want you to know I was invited, though.
Oh, yeah. Dana, this Vanity Fair thing. I should have brought fucking Dana. Oh, I couldn't. That's the point. I couldn't bring anyone.
I was invited for 25 years, never went. So finally they stopped inviting me.
Oh, got it.
For people at home, they hear about that Vanity Fair party, like the Oscar party, right?
Yeah.
So there's one at Gaio's after that, which is really fun. And that's, at least I know him, so it's easier. But Vanity Fair,
It's not an audition, but you just hear if you want to go to the Vanity Fair. I always thought I was always invited. And then one year I go, hey, I didn't hear about the Vanity Fair. I think I want to go to that and bring my buddy. And they go, it's just so tricky this year. I'm like, oh, what does that mean? They're like, I can't go. And they're like, it's not that. It's just that you can't right now. And I'm like, so it is that. And then, but for people listening, you see pictures of the Vanity Fair party, but it's a fun party, but they stagger you.
Yes.
So you either go like Apatow. I didn't know anyone, and I got no +1. And I said, I think I'm going to go. I get home from my shows. I just want to go at least do something. I can't stay all the way awake till a guy's party, but I go, I'll just go to this one. Oh, wait, what's my time?
Yes.
And so
it gets a little sweaty.
I got 9:30, which is pretty good.
9:30 is not bad.
This is all embarrassing,
It's
Dana.
the cool group.
It's cool kids. And they go, you're right between Gigi Hadid and Harvey Weinstein. So
they let him out, just they furloughed him.
He's there. I'm like, this is the only thing you get out
it's
for?
It's cruel and unusual not to let that man go to that party.
So
and then they put him right back
embarrassingly. But 9:30 is not bad. One year I got midnight and no +1. I didn't go. Too embarrassing.
Now you got Fly on the Wall, so it's a hit podcast.
No, they know that this is it's
so you're going to be. But back to our guest.
No, I want to tell him because I want to say because he's done this. It's embarrassing that when you go and you go you get out by yourself, and I hit Apatow and I say, "Are you there?" And he goes, "Oh, I got here at 5." I go, 5. He went at 5.
What do you have a head cold?
He went to. How does he sound?
Do it again.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Everyone has a little Apatow.
You cop an attitude and just say the name.
You know that thing we
I'm Judd Apatow. How you guys doing? I'm Judd Apatow.
I thought that's pretty funny what you did.
Oh, yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, he does say that. He does say that's funny a lot.
So anyway,
very generous.
I get there. I go to the press side. All the I hit right when all the models hit, and they're all 50 feet tall. And I go, "Can I just cut in front of you guys and just?" And they're like, "Is someone talking?" And so I go. I remember I went up to Jessica Alba. I go, "Oh, I thought you were Nancy Pelosi." That was my joke to her.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Fuck you." And I go, "No, she's right behind you." And I go, because it's funny. Because one time she kicked me in the ass at the Golden Globes, and she said, "Hey, Fats." And I turned around. I don't even know her.
Nancy Pelosi?
No.
I know. I'm sorry. I knew.
That's funny. And I fell for it.
Hey, Fats. Can I do my name?
No, I saw Nancy Pelosi at Wendy's once. No. I tried to get you back.
Nancy Pelosi always looks like she just sat on something cold and wet.
That's not.
Sorry, that's my Nancy Pelosi joke. We'll finish this.
No, there's no story. I was just saying it's
on.
embarrassing, and I went there, and that was it, I guess.
So
wait, why did Alba call you Fats?
She did because she thought it was funny, and I thought it was funny.
Oh, okay.
If you really were fat, that would be insensitive.
Yeah, I didn't care though. It was back in the Dark Angel days.
Oh, so we're talking Dark Angel era Alba?
That's when I used to get to go to the Golden Globes.
Oh, yeah.
So this time,
we're talking
I was just getting her back because sometimes if I see her, she says something like that. So
understood. You guys have kind of like a...
She was funny, yeah. So
it was carpet rapport.
It was nothing mean. It was just being stupid.
Carpet rapport, you're
right.
That
is a thing that if you go to a lot of award shows and award show parties, you do start having like award season friends that you only see at events. And it's a very strange phenomenon. You're like, hey! But then you like...
And you never see them again.
You're never like... We should exchange numbers.
You want to hear something weird for 10 seconds?
See them at the next
see them at that.
I went in 91, I think, because of Wayne's World. So I look over, I say, I think it's Juliette Lewis.
We'll put it in later.
Hey, thanks. I see Juliette Lewis and Brad Pitt. I think it was her.
When they were dating, yeah.
I see them off the side, and I can see that they're talking to each other, whether they should come over and talk to me.
Oh, that's
like nervously coming over.
And did they?
Mm-hmm. I go, we're just going to leave now. And he goes, that's a good plan. Like that plan. Let's face it, man. I'm a goddamn has-been. Sorry. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
That was Brad Pitt.
Really
11
you were
times.
in that, right? Yeah, neither.
No.
11 times. What I'm interested in right now
Say hello to your
about this podcast, I'm interested in Andy and his buddies. They make their thing, and then they come to SNL, and your first boom, and then you did come up with Lazy Sunday at SNL.
Yeah.
So walk me through that process. You meet Lauren, you tell him, what was your first meeting with Lauren or the writers? What was that vibe?
We got the show actually because we were writing on the MTV Movie Awards and Fallon hosted. So I do owe a great deal to Fallon.
Hey, we're doing that.
Oh my God, what's up, man?
I know, he's awesome. We love him.
I did him in my audition because I knew he did Sandler in his, and it was very winky.
Oh, wow.
What was your take on Fallon?
It was Jimmy Fallon at a funeral. It's like, oh my God, it's so sad, right? Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, what a tragedy.
Anyway, here's the next album.
I just took him to the nth. Was like, but yeah,
yes, he was great, and he was super great to us, and we got some stuff in the show, and he and Higgins and Shoemaker were there for people who don't
Steve
know
Higgins.
who are SNL producers and a bunch of the writers, and we kind of hit it off with everybody. So they were like, "You guys should audition." So
how did you audition?
Yeah, what do you do?
Were you Andy Samberg or with your buddies or?
I did it solo, and I had been doing stand up for like 5 or 6 years, 7 years.
Really?
On and
I
off.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Where were you playing mostly?
Well, I started off, I was going to NYU for a couple of years, and I started doing just bringer shows in New York. So like Cellar and Boston Comedy Club when it was called that, and Gotham, all those kinds of places. And then I moved out here, and like the best I ever got to was doing a couple of shows here and there at the Improv. And then I did Premium Blend on Comedy Central. That was kind of the high watermark for me.
Yeah,
the stand-up.
Okay.
But so I did some of that stuff, and then they were like, but you need characters and impressions. And I was like, I don't have. So
you didn't really?
Not really. We just made up a bunch of shit like the weeks leading up to it. And those guys helped me, Keeve and Yorm. And it went well. So they said, you need to come back. And then they also had Yorm audition, and Keeve did a meeting with Lauren, and we all submitted a writing packet together.
All three writing.
Yeah.
And you got the feature performer?
Yeah. And then they got hired as writers. Like, it was a crazy dream where all of a sudden
but
we were
all
like,
3 of you guys to get on is very
to come in with your
bonkers.
buddies from 8th grade, and now we're all on Saturday Night Live.
And we had already been, I mean, we'd known each other a long time, so we had shorthand and we trusted each other. But it was also like we had spent the last 5 years in LA making stuff. So we had kind of a rhythm of what we were doing already.
And a TV show on YouTube, basically.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, people didn't really know about it the same way they do now, but it was the same thing in that we had gotten a lot of the bad stuff out of our system.
Well, you had to practice.
Well, the thing is that, and for young people today, it just, I say, well, just do a YouTube channel, do this and that. And then you get 2 views or 5. And then you read about someone else with, Rihanna has 500 million. And to keep yourself going, you guys obviously just loved it, even though it wasn't getting tremendous traction.
No, it was also just a different time. Like YouTube really didn't exist yet when we were doing it.
So you didn't have that compare and despair thing.
For us, it was like, let's just make stuff until we feel like we're good, and it'll work itself out one way or another. But we never thought we'd get SNL. That was like my big only dream. And I was
just
like,
Fallon saw something.
I even went and like did the Groundlings like intro audition for the classes and stuff, and just tanked it. I just wanted it too bad, I was like, my brain went in a million different places.
Isn't that the tough part of show is try not to try, because whenever you push, it never works, and yet you want to be present. It's trying to catch the wind. It's always there, but isn't it great when you're in the pocket and you don't give a fuck?
Yeah.
Like by year, I don't know, what year did you kind of go, I'm not nervous on stage, I'm relaxed? Was it right away, or was it? No. It took me like, I think 80 shows.
I think it was probably by like year 4 or 5.
Yeah.
It's once you feel like you're not going to get fired.
Yeah.
I think is truly it. And then you get genuinely loose, and then people relax because you're relaxed.
Did you get picked up every year where it was like pretty much on? Because I had to go home in May, and he wouldn't decide.
Yeah,
so
you guys had a crazy stretch.
I had to check out of my apartment. I had to get out, and then
because the old guys, my team didn't leave. I stayed until '93.
Yeah.
So you overlapped, and that was a reason. But once we all cleared out, I think David had a pretty hot 2 years.
Yeah.
When you guys were all there at the same time, like the 2 different generations,
we were,
and you look at it, it's so rare in the history of the show where you look at both generations and it's fucking stacked in both.
Yeah.
That's the craziest part to me about when you guys were all
90
to
93. That I feel like that was the most loaded, because we had David and Farley and Sandler and Chris Rock, and they're coming up and doing stuff. Adam's getting the guitar, he's going. And then we had Phil Hartman and myself and Mike Myers.
Yeah. That's Dennis a lot of people making shit that like ended up on a t-shirt,
Yeah.
Well, we talked with Lauren about that, and it was like, if it's a team, you've got this guy can start or this guy can start. So we had Toonces the Cat, even with Jack Handy.
Throwing Toonces.
But, I mean, even just like throwing deep thoughts.
Yeah.
Which was a constant on the show and
constant
super funny.
That always was.
And Mike would throw down a Sprockets or a Wayne's World. You know, Sandler would do Opera Man. It went, it got greatest hits every show practically. But anyway, enough about that era. This is called Dana and David.
No, I love it.
So I want to hear, if we can, tactily. You go in to Rockefeller Center.
Yes.
What are you feeling? And do you have a private meeting with Lorne or with the three of you or what?
You mean when I got hired?
When you got hired, first time you went and talked to Lorne.
They had me and Bill fly out.
Bill Hader?
Yes, sorry. Me and Bill Hader to fly out to, I'm told to meet with Lorne. Be like, you auditioned twice. They're interested. They want you to come meet with Lorne. Me and Bill sit next to each other on a flight from LA to New York. Marcy Klein had already told him that me and him got the show.
Oh, wow. Cool.
No one told me. And Bill, bless his heart, pretended the entire flight that he didn't know, so he didn't be the one to tell me. He wanted me to have like my moment where I got to actually find out.
That's nice.
So the whole, he makes fun of me now because we talk all the time. He's like, you were like, oh man, I wonder if we're going to get it. Fucking idiot. I knew. But so we get there. He goes in for his meeting, which is just saying hi to Lorne because he knows he's got the show. Then I go in and I talk to Lorne, maybe 10 minutes. And it's Lorne, so he gives you nothing.
Mentions nothing about anything.
Was there anyone in the room?
No, just me and him.
He never stands up and leans over the table and goes, congratulations, you got the job.
Literally, I think a cigar. Or here.
It's not like a real job.
If you want. Now, you must do a Lorne impression. It doesn't matter how good it is.
It's not good, but it's basically him being like, so do you think you'd be willing to cut your hair? I'm like,
willing to cut your hair?
It was really crazy long. I was like, oh yeah, I'll shave my head if you want, whatever you want. And I was like, on coke.
But that's basically. A very specific Lorne.
And he goes, and you think you could do this? You think you could live in New York? And I was like, oh, yeah, I've lived here before. I lived here for 2 years recently. He's like, okay, well, we're going to all go out to dinner, so you should come. And I was like, okay. And I walked out, and I looked around, and it was like Jen and Shookus were there, and I was like, and they were like, so? And I was like, I don't know. What happened? And they were like, you got it. So they were the ones who told me.
Official.
But Lord never went like, we're hiring you. Those words never came out of his
I never
mouth.
heard that either.
Yeah. I don't think he ever does. Some lieutenant comes up and
yes. And then I immediately fell on the floor.
So where did you go to dinner? Do you remember?
Orso.
And how many people were in that dinner? Because that's kind of
it might have been Orso.
A big thing to be invited.
Orso was a big one for Tuesday night dinners when I was there.
I remember wherever we went, it was in that theater district area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was me and Bill and a few other people, and Conan was there at a different table. And they were like, oh, Conan, you should meet. These are going to be 2 new cast members. And I was just like,
fun.
Freaking the fuck out. We're like, my life just got so cool.
Yeah, it's a cool factor.
He would come up to us and go, well, if it's not shitty, crappy, and cruddy.
Oh, yeah, and being all tall, too.
Yeah, so tall.
So alpha dominating.
That's an animated show.
It's a funny one.
Shitty, crappy, okay, right after
when you did impressions, like you said, like I didn't really do impressions too many, but when did they assign you one or say, hey, can you play this? Or did you do Marky Mark?
That one, all my impressions happened on accident.
Yeah.
Like, I think Emily Spivey and someone else were the first ones to be like, oh, we put you in this thing as Nick Cage. And I was like, I don't do Nick Cage. But so I just worked on it, and it ended up being something I found out that I could kind of do. And Wahlberg, I was doing some bit with Jonah Hill, actually. We were hanging out in the summertime, and he's like, you kind of sound like Mark Wahlberg right now. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Anything to get on the fucking show. Yeah. So I tried that, and I wrote it with Steele.
But say hello
to
a great hook your mother for me is the funniest thing to say.
Wait, which character says that?
He does Wahlberg.
Oh,
You're with a donkey
I saw him
or
talk
something.
to animals.
Yeah, he talks to animals. That was Steele's idea.
But you found that rhythm, that hook, that
it's funny. Like, obviously, you're one of the greatest of all time at the impressions, and like I'm close with people also who are like Wiig and Fred and Bill. I mean, it's a whole other skill set, and I've never considered myself good at it, but there's like a few times in my life where I have found it, and I'm like, oh, this must be what it's like for them all the time.
Though, yeah.
Like, it is really fun to do it.
Hard.
And it becomes its own language, and it becomes its own character.
Well, that's the thing. It becomes a character. So I know many, many incredibly accurate impressionists that aren't intrinsically funny.
Yeah.
But since you're a comedian, when you did it, it was funny. And also, it was accurate enough that it represented Mark Wahlberg.
Sure.
So it worked completely. How many times did you do that? It was kind of a hit.
I think only twice.
Really?
Yeah.
And you did it to Mark Wahlberg.
Well, he came on the show and to basically, he did a whole thing where he was like, I guess they had asked him about it and he said something negative, and then I think him and his team were like, oh, we don't want people thinking I'm being too much of a bummer about this. So he came on and like pretended like he was going to kick my ass.
Yes.
And it was very pleasant. It was totally fine. It was the episode that Palin was on too. It was a crazy episode.
Oh, big one. That's a score.
Yeah, your time was pretty heady, with that election year and your bandmates, so to speak. It was
it was interesting for us. Every election, we were there for 2 election years, I think. And our joke was always like, oh, well, we're not going to have anything on the show this year because it became so political. Yeah. And we just didn't really engage with that. We just wanted to make goofy shit. But now I think for everyone who works there now, that's just every year.
It's just nonstop.
Politics, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Like it always has to be like about something and saying something and addressing what's happening. I think they have less opportunity to just do kind of weird ideas.
The world changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's probably going to change back. I mean, that's how it's historically happened.
I like acid humor the best. I like the silliness the best, if I have to say, madness. And coming full circle back to you. So, Lazy Sunday and the Princess of Narnia, like, are you writing that when it's coming together? I'm just curious, like, that's your first SNL?
Is it the first one or not the first one?
That was the
second one.
We had made one short that aired before that called Lettuce, which was
Bomb. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, come on. Hey, David, that's kind of mean.
No, he's the one that
He's
said.
our guest. What are you talking about?
No, he said
but that was as part of SNL, not a pre-SNL.
No, it aired on SNL. Okay. It was a Will Forte idea that we did with him, and we shot it on like a home camera, and it aired. And we were like, holy shit, that aired. And then Lazy Sunday was the second one that aired. But that wasn't until the Christmas episode of our first season.
Did you show it to Lauren when you got it completely finished?
No, I think the first time he saw it, I think was at Dress.
And I assume you guys knew you had a hit with that.
No.
We felt irresistible to me. But
once it aired, we were like, oh shit, I think people really liked it.
The crowd liked it.
Yeah. It was a new feeling. And you came out real hot. I don't really remember your beginning part, but I just remember
thank you
knowing that you were there and you were good.
No, it was wormed in over time.
We had been there up till Christmas to that point, and we had gotten stuff on and we were getting along with everybody, but we weren't like, we're killing this,
blowing up.
Yeah. So for us, it was still the mentality of, oh, it's going to air. Yeah. Like it was that. Yeah. It was still that early.
Yeah, you don't want to jinx it.
I think it's going to air. Mm-hmm. And then the crazy thing that happened with Lazy Sunday was what you brought up, was it all of a sudden became a news item because everyone was like, there's a website called YouTube. And then every article about it was a picture of me and Parnell.
Yes, you kind of represented YouTube in a way.
When you do this, do you say, does Shoemaker or someone say, you should put a cast member in it with you? Or is that your idea?
What do you mean?
Like it's you and
Chris Parnell.
Oh, yeah. Well, in the beginning, Keevan Yorm shot one that was an idea that we all had when I was in LA for an off week taking generals.
Yeah.
Time well spent.
Take those generals. General meeting.
Yeah. And
you're just generals now?
I came back and they had made something and I was like, oh shit, it's that idea. It's so funny. Mm-hmm. And we showed it to Shoemaker and Higgins and they were like, you guys just went and made this? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, do stuff like this for the show, but put the cast in it. That was literally what they said.
Yeah.
And
they'd say put the cast in it because you're too new.
So did Parnell, did you have to coach him at all? Because like if someone cast me in that, I don't know how you're double tracking to get, because it sounds like real rap. All of your stuff does to me.
Right.
Like, yeah. So what do you double track? You put effects on it. Just has this muscularity.
Yeah. We had been making songs for fun. And we had shot a few music videos for them. That was like something we had sort of started doing before SNL. And we were like, oh yeah, we could try a song here. That might be fun. And we knew Parnell, quote unquote, rapped or frapped as we call it.
Yeah.
Fake rapping, because he used to do it on Update. Like he did a thing, I think like Britney Spears one week was the musical guest, and he like did a rap dedicated to Britney Spears that we thought was super funny. And
what a score for him to be in that though.
Yeah, but it was also awesome for us because he was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
like as soon as it starts, you're like, oh my God, Parnell is so in. He dedicates his brain to it. Like him and Forte both have that weird like gene of a performer where like they will never break no matter what. Like they're so in it.
They're really serious.
Forte is
there's like a slight psychosis to it that makes you laugh so hard because you can tell they're actually lunatics deep down and you love it.
There's something a little different.
Something's wrong.
Yes. And
Forte had his own lane. He did some brilliant, just only he could do.
I would say he probably, of everyone, and this is saying a lot because I loved almost everyone I worked with there, at the table, he was the person I was always the most excited to see what he was going to do because it was always so weird.
He was so weird.
Yeah.
I remember the potato chip one where he came
potato
in
chips an all-timer.
I told him back then, and he goes, "You saw the potato chip one? I just watched it one night on television." And I go, "Yeah, it was." Comedians, we know where all the tricks are. We know, but to get surprised by another comedian and the commitment, then you have to just commit. But
and you give Lauren credit for seeing a weird bit and it even bombs miserably, and he goes, "Put it on."
Yeah,
and it takes balls to go. We're teaching the audience this is funny. We're not saying, "Oh, it didn't do as good." You just go, "No, this is
Lauren
what should be out there."
Has that gear and can I Wayne's World Story?
Yeah.
When I sometimes do stuff that I don't explain. So anyway, I was doing Garth's making a mechanical hand. Hope you've seen the movie. But in my mind, the mechanical hand is going to strangle Rob Lowe.
Yes.
So Rob Lowe comes in before it's finished, so then I beat the shit out of it. So it's laying there at the previews. And I kind of liked it because it was my shtick, but I'm like, okay, I get it. You guys want to. And Lauren's like, it's one of those things, like 20 years from now, you're like glad it's there.
Yeah.
We kept it.
So Lauren does have that quirky side to him.
Isn't that We Fear Change? It's that moment, right?
Yeah. We Fear Change.
I know the film.
God, I love that.
What about
how do you react to people coming up to you the way you would have come up to someone else?
Like to come up to you guys?
I can't believe I'm meeting Andy Samberg, that at the airport or whatever, and they're usually very sweet and stuff. It's an out-of-body experience, isn't it?
It's trippy. I mean, the first time it happens, you're like, fuck it, I did it,
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I always just think about, and I truly, like, you guys are on this list. When I was a teenager or in my early 20s, if I saw someone from SNL in real life, I would lose my shit. So I try to always remember that I felt like that, and the idea that somebody could feel that way about me is super exciting.
I never quite hits you the same way, though. Like, when I see Aykroyd or I saw Dana, those guys, it's never the same as when people see me. I go, "Oh, that's not that exciting." When they saw me, but I go, "I see these guys." You know what I mean?
But you got to remember, like, when it's whatever. Everyone says this about SNL, right? It's like when kids and teens are a certain age, that cast
you're in that pocket
is their cast, and it means way more to them than even the original cast, which feels impossible to us.
Movies too. When you
12
grew up
and
on movies,
13,
you've seen Aykroyd after Blues Brothers and shit, and you go,
"Yeah,
oh my God."
But dude, Wayne's World and Tommy Boy are those for me. Yeah. Way more than Blues Brothers. Nothing against Blues Brothers.
Yeah. It's just those were
my years where I was like, holy shit, I can't believe that they're getting to do this. And it makes me feel like I have a place on earth. Like literally.
Because you want to do that stuff.
Yeah. And I still quote those movies like every week.
Yeah, that's nice.
I can believe you remember We Fear Change.
Yeah,
Did
dude.
Garth say that?
Garth said that.
We fear change.
We fear change.
Yeah. And then
what about this pop star movie?
Oh yeah.
I think I told that whole Vanity Fair story because Bieber was there. I think that's what I was leading up to.
Is that right?
And he was wearing a blanket. Remember that? He's wearing a poncho. Did you see that?
I wasn't there.
Let's look at a clip. Let's go to the phones.
Bieber, but it wasn't really a Bieber parody, but they marketed it as a Bieber parody.
I like Bieber as well. Yeah. And we met him a bunch of times at SNL. I'll say this.
Super talent. I mean,
obviously in that moment, it was like he was one of the biggest pop stars in the world. Of course. He still is. So we're making a movie about that world. So there are definitely jokes in it that are inspired by him. Like,
sure. And you exaggerate a situation like he's a big pop star. What's the funniest version of everything doesn't mean it's about Bieber.
Correct.
It's about...
But there's also a lot of stuff about a lot of other people in it too. And then a lot of stuff we just kind of made up.
Yeah.
I will say this. Judd, who, bless his heart, is the reason we got to make that movie.
Oh, that's right. Judd did
fully produced it, fully ushered it, told us like, hey, if you guys wanted to make a movie like that, I'll produce it, and just gave us basically a free pass to make a movie.
Yeah.
I think he was in line with Universal more about making the marketing feel a little more Bieber leaning.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, this is Judd. He doesn't fucking miss. So whatever you guys want to do.
Sure.
And then we ate shit at the box office. Ate a whole big pile of shit.
On a movie that's that is funny, though.
That's a very colorful way to put it.
But
I've been in a couple of stinkers.
I'll tell you what, it wasn't because of the marketing or the Bieber stuff. It was just like people didn't want to go to the theater for
But
it.
also,
But now hasn't it found a
reference
place?
it still.
Sorry, isn't it kind of a cult film in a way? Is that like the people who are going to love it are going to be quoting it and possessed by it? I'm assuming.
I mean, most of my favorite comedies didn't do well in theaters. Most.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne's World obviously is an exception.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there's exceptions. There's Anchorman, which is one of my all-time favorites. That did really well. But generally speaking, you know, like we were kind of like riding Spinal Tap's coattails. And when it came out, I just kept reading stuff about how when Spinal Tap came out, it was in like 6 theaters or something. You know? Yeah.
There was like Wet Hot American Summer. There's a bunch of ones.
Oh, Wet Hot
in Spinal Tap.
And
that's right.
Geez, you know my whole...
You were in Spinal Tap?
Andy Samberger is interviewing me today, and we're having I was in Spinal Tap, the mime waiter with Billy Crystal.
That's right. It's super funny.
Wow,
Yeah.
how fun.
But to me, that movie was, to your point, that was sort of like, God, they could make a movie like that. It's like the first mock documentary that I'd seen is like, this is so cool. It's won Haya.
Have you watched that movie anytime recently?
Maybe not in the last couple of years.
It's crazy how well it holds up. Like just the pace of it, and it doesn't seem like it's rushing at
They're
all.
not pushing, yeah.
But it doesn't
unreal.
waste a second of your time. Like it's just like type it. Every joke is funny, and they get out, and it moves, and the story makes sense, and you actually kind of care in the end.
We did.
Kevin Pollak and I talked like Christopher Guest for like 3 years. Every time we talked, and we actually played blackjack at Harrah's. We were playing. And we just did it going, talk like this. Well, I'll give you, I'm supposed to take your call. Do you want me to take your call? And try to do it is real enough that they maybe believe it. Sorry.
When I did Coneheads, put the applause. Thank you.
Coneheads,
with
David
Michael
Spade.
McKean, I'd ask him on Spinal Tap. And Coneheads, after it came out, was probably better than Spinal Tap. Anyway.
Coneheads was great.
Yes. Coneheads had so many funny people in it, and it never just gelled
Well, I love
perfectly
anything
together.
where they're called Coneheads and their heads look like cones.
It's perfect.
I always like the nail on the head.
Maybe it was too on the money.
I auditioned for Spinal Tap. You might find this interesting. I came into Rob Reiner and the whole cast. I'm auditioning.
You did?
Yeah, to play the drummer or something.
Great.
And then I go, this is nerve-wracking. You guys are all friends, and I'm just walking in here. And so they all goes, oh, we get that. They all just immediately left the room. they just got out of the room. I'm waiting there 5 minutes, and they come back in. They go, "Oh, we're a little nervous. Well, how long have you been in here?" You know, but I think they felt sorry for me, so they gave me the mime thing.
Oh, dude, this guy was in Grown Ups too.
Was I ever?
Oh, the cheerleader scene, which was
a good
hysterical.
Group. That was a fun day.
That was a great thing to use guys like you, where not to waste your time. It's like one bit funny and get out.
I mean, that's the thing too that I know about. Once Sandler likes you and puts you in stuff, he'll be like, "Just come do a thing." And you're like, "Okay,
we'll figure it out later."
Andy, what's our doing? He has a very sweet whispering.
So
thing.
we're gonna do a thing. And you'll be like with a bunch of suds on you and stuff.
You're gonna be so funny.
There he is.
Adam has a lot of
the best.
Yeah, the best.
A lot of rhythms to him.
And he's in Hotel Transylvania.
We should talk about some of these
As are you.
monster things.
Dude, you were in the fourth one, right?
Yes, Andy.
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
Was Selena?
Yeah.
Oh, Adam wasn't.
Correct.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You've been in 4.
We've been in 4 together. We've been in the
I was in 2.
trenches of Hotel.
By the way, that is like the true like business joy of when Sandler likes you.
Oh my God.
He called me
Keeps
after
giving.
we did That's My Boy, and he called me after that, was like, "Hey, we're doing this animated thing, and there's a goofy guy. He's the only human. You're going to be that guy." And I was like, "Okay, thanks, Sandman." And then like 4 movies later,
it pays off. Oh my God.
I'm just like, okay.
I have a story about that, Dana, but it
awesome.
involves Andy, unfortunately.
Okay.
You
have the floor.
On Hotel Transylvania. So do you remember this? The first table read at Sony.
Yeah.
And Amy Pascal was there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Selena. Who was Mavis?
I truly have no idea.
Miley Cyrus.
Whoa, really?
And she was a half hour late. And it was me, Sandler, you. Everyone was there waiting.
Yeah.
And they're like, and it was dead silent because Amy is the president of Sony. Comes in. Okay, we got a call. She's on the 405. She's getting off at Sawtell. Everyone's like,
oh my God, that's
she's
so
still
intense.
not here. And it was like, she comes in, hey, sorry. And then sits down, rifles through the script like, I don't know if it's a cold read. I was like, first of all, I love Miley Cyrus. First of all, she's a great singer. She's unbelievable. I just saw her do Like a Prayer live with her cowboy hat on. She's a great singer. This was just an off thing because she did the table read and the movie obviously went fine, but they got Selena.
I don't remember that.
Right after. And
that's so weird.
I don't know if Miley decided not to do it or it just was not a perfect fit, but Selena's obviously unbelievable and great. And she was, I only met her twice along the way because we don't do that much. We don't shoot them all together.
I mean, I've never been in the room with her for anything but press. But we do all the.
I know we did press. Yeah,
we do all the press together, and it's like, hey, this is fun.
Yeah,
this is a bunch of nice people.
Cancun, didn't we go somewhere for the?
Yes,
that was
dude,
fun.
that was crazy. The Sony retreat. That was nuts. And then my wife and I were like, oh, we're gonna go to Tulum.
Yeah,
we're already here.
Yeah, you're in Mexico. Go ahead, Dana.
Oh, I just wanted to because I know we have our producer. Greg Holson gave us a list. A super fan, the huge, obviously, Dick in a Box. We can't get through all of them, but Dick in a Box.
These are the
with
biggies.
Justin. Also, Dancing with Beyonce.
Oh yeah, Single
with
Ladies.
Bobby Moynihan.
Single Ladies.
So if you want to talk about those quickly, I mean, Dick in a Box.
You have to go to Beyonce, or does Marcy, or does someone go to her?
We wrote it. Me and Bobby, I think. I might be getting that wrong, but I think that was it. And I think we knew Justin was around and could do it. And then I think it was Justin that went and talked to Beyonce about it because we were like, well, he's very famous and she's very famous. Yeah. So that would probably go better.
She'll see his DM.
And also like, it's him being like, I'm going to be in a leotard. Like we're celebrating you, whatever it is. But she was delightful. She's such a sweet, wonderful person in my limited interaction with her.
Yeah.
But that one was fun because we just were like, there's no way people are going to be mad at this.
It's too funny. It's great. And she rolls with it and it's all, and having her in it. And
yes.
And then that's probably a blow up on video.
Also her doing that song, like her performance of that song that night on the show is one of the most incredible performances.
It's hard.
I mean, yes. And they're in like giant heels and just fucking destroying. Like her and Prince, I think, are the two people in my time there where I was like, I don't understand what's happening right now. It's so impressive.
She seems like a very hard worker from like early age of like busting up and gives 100% in every performance.
She's a killer.
That song, Check on It, she has so many words in it. There's a couple songs where I go, how does she... I mean, to do a whole concert, she has so much to do and dance and sing and costume.
Her last album's incredible.
And everyone's in love with her.
Yeah. And then, Dick in a Box.
Beyonce, if you'd ever like to come on the podcast, you're always welcome.
Obviously, everyone likes you here. Go ahead. Yeah. Dick in a Box.
Dick in a Box, it was fine. We just kind of threw it together.
Any problems with
But that was the first one that went kind of sexual or R, right? Or hard. Because Dick in a Box was like on the edge, right? Did censor?
We did the one with Natalie Portman at the end of the
Mother Lovers?
of the previous year, and it was filthy, but it was all bleeped. But that was all her.
Oh, it was all bleeped.
That was all her.
But
people really liked that one.
What was that one?
It was just her rapping real filthy. Basically, she like loved Lil' Kim and told us she wanted to do one, and we were like, okay,
how great.
Yeah,
and you bleeped all the words out.
Yeah, a lot of bleeps. I mean, that was the fun of getting to do so much pre-tape. As we ended up, there was not a lot of bleeps before us. I don't think.
When you do Dick in a Box to the audience, it says Dick in a Box.
No, I think it was bleeped in.
Oh no,
in
really?
Yeah.
Even for the
because it's live.
Oh yeah.
So what part is bleeped?
The word dick.
Yeah, Dana.
Yeah.
So you can't say dick. Okay.
You can say
But-
box.
Well, couldn't they have just
Interesting
bleeped
you
box?
bring this up,
'Cause
though,
then it would've
Dana.
been a dick in a, and you wouldn't know what it meant. It could be Dick Wilson.
Well,
Could be dick in your pants, like a medical thing.
Two things about the bleeps. We were told that because it was bleeped, people thought it was cock.
Cock in a
Even
box.
dirtier, really, right?
Yes, and it sounds much worse musically. And then a few years later, we aired the song Jizz in My Pants with no bleeps and no anything. But
what's jizz?
I don't know.
Why would
I
it
still
be in
don't
your
know.
pants?
Yeah. I'm told someday I'll find out. But that one, it had to air after 12:15 or something. Like it was like at the very end of the show.
Huh.
And I think whoever was running NBC at the time, was maybe like Jeff Zucker or somebody, came down to the show and like they had a whole conversation about it.
Interesting.
Basically, we brought it in because we had already started doing albums at that point. It was from our first album. And we were like, hey, we have this video. Maybe we could just play it at Dress and see how it goes. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, ooh, it went well. And Laura was like, so we should air it. And they're like, but can we? And we're like, we have a censored version, which does exist, where instead of jizz, you just hear variations of us going, it's a lot sillier, but not as funny.
You could have a dick in a box and also jizz in the box.
You could.
With the dick.
Say more about that.
Well, I'm going to show you a chart how that could work.
You're on, Spade.
Where would you hold the box?
You know, the dry.
I guess depends on your age.
Dick in a box was revolutionary, but also I'm on a boat is so dry and silly.
It is dry as a bone.
I'm on a boat.
There's nothing to it but that one idea.
What are you doing on the boat? I'm on a boat.
It's just rich people being on boats,
just being on boats. There were a lot of videos at that time where the concept of the video was just they were on a boat and they were doing their song on a boat.
We're doing good. T-Pain was a great addition. It's always fun when you just throw someone in that out of the blue. I think you pan over to him at the beginning, like you go down the line, and that's a laugh, and then
that's like an old, like almost like Marx Brothers style reveal.
It's hard to get people. We were trying to get people for stuff back in the show, and they don't know till the last minute, and unless it's Geraldo Rivera, they're not coming.
Oh my god! I mean, especially once you start going into the music world. Like they're on their own schedule. Everybody in music does whatever they feel like. So
I go, what about Steve Martin? And he goes, what about Geraldo Rivera? And I go, well, and he goes, he's circling the building. Anytime you say, what are you doing? He's circling the building. That was Lauren's best joke. I've stolen that one.
What about Geraldo? Well,
Geraldo was the one that was always circling. That we could
Lauren will do that sometimes where he's just like, so-and-so is here, so put them in it. And you're like, okie doke.
Steve's coming.
Yeah. We did a Laser Cats, and it opens with him having dinner with Senator Dodd.
Oh, wow.
And we were like, yeah, that was definitely who we were thinking for this.
Senator Dodd. Yeah, he was around. I think Chris Farley picked him up and threw him around at a party.
He had Steve come in a Hollywood Minute and stand behind me and just listen to it and sip a drink.
Oh, my God.
And he goes, I want a drink, and I want to sip it with a straw. And we're like, okay.
Fuck, I love Hollywood
And then he
Minute.
just stood behind me. Steve Martin, my fucking hero. Like,
did he say anything after?
At the end, he goes, I did a joke about him. I go, he's in a new movie where he thinks he's cool. Hey, I have my shirt open. I'm Matt Dillon. And then he's standing behind me, and then he taps me, and I go, oh. And then he tells me to leave. And then he sits down and does some jokes.
And are they about you or just whatever?
He made fun of me.
Yeah.
But
you gotta.
That's
the deal.
Have a sense of humor about yourself.
I sort of embarrassed because I didn't love it.
Thanks, Andy.
I wanted more for Steve because I love him.
We're Bay guys. We get it.
All right, give something else to him. Give him another
I know
compliment.
that you love. I read that you especially had a fond heart for A Great Day.
I do love Great Day.
Cool video. It has pathos. It's funny. Because you want to have a great day, but he's got Coke all over his mouth. Right?
Of my own works. Thank you for bringing up my own works.
Ooh,
I am proud of that one. It came together nice.
Yeah. I think it has it steps outside all the other ones. It's just so different.
That
the
was
neighborhood and it's all beautiful.
Yes, and it's a different kind of song for us. It was more musical style. We shot down on Commerce, which is like my favorite street in Manhattan.
Made it utopian.
Yes, in front of the Cherry Lane Theater. We've shot there a few times. We shot this Ahmadinejad one with Fred down there too. I love that street. Anyway.
Wait, I forgot to ask about Digman.
Oh yeah, that's my show.
Digman is a show.
By the way, saw a billboard for it on my way over.
Huge.
Already?
Yeah. I saw it too.
I was like, hey, it's real.
I was thinking the voice
I rolled down my window and said, interviewing him.
Yeah.
Interviewing him.
And me, I was like, please fucking let Dana have seen this.
Dude, billboards are all that matters.
Is it out already? Are we promoting it?
March 22nd.
Okay. And
I think it comes out right
soon.
then.
So yes.
We'll be out. That's today.
Digman is available because it's so hard to find shit on...
It's today.
No, but where do you get it?
Oh,
Hulu?
Comedy Central.
Comedy Central.
I know.
So, old school. Hey, Sandberg, yes,
look,
the 90s called.
But we're on after South Park, so it's the best slot you get.
Oh, the best slot in history.
Is that your South Park?
Yeah.
That's good.
The dirtiest fucking...
this is South Park guy. Hi, how are you? I just shit my pants.
I'm 3. This kid just fucked me in the ass. I'm
Yeah,
like, God
really
damn, is this a
good.
real show?
I can't believe what they get away with.
When I see those clips on Instagram, I go, this is from a real show, or is this just a clip they made up? Because
Or is it
it's
a parody
so
of a
fucking
show?
Filthy.
I like it in my ass.
Meghan Markle, yeah, they're in print.
Hey,
that
guys,
sounds
South Park
crazy.
guys, Trey and
Matt.
if you guys ever want to come on the podcast.
Beyonce's going to be here.
Do
It's
this.
going to be a
What
fun
if they all
time.
want to come the
Come
same
on,
day, though?
Andy will come back.
I would come back.
Digman. So
Digman,
tell
I
us
just watched
what
it last
is.
night.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
They got it to me.
Yeah.
What's the
Digman. It's an
He's an archie.
Yeah, he's an archaeologist. They call him Archies. It's a show set in a world where archaeologists are the biggest celebrities in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's like a Met Gala, but it's the Archie Gala. And everyone's wondering like what museum they're going to be hired by. And it's super silly. I made it with my buddy Neil Campbell, who wrote on Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Comedy Bang Bang and stuff. And I've been working on it for fucking 2.5 years.
It is.
How many
Because the
episodes
animation
is
takes
it?
so long. First season's 8, and we're hoping there'll be another one.
Yeah, it was funny. I just watched it last night, and there's an assistant archaeologist.
Yes, Mitra Juhari, who's super funny.
Oh, okay. I was wondering who that was.
Yeah.
Do you
she's
need any?
funny.
If there's a season 2, do you need any guest voices?
Are you in? Would you guys want to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I
it's,
mean, we got motherfucking Emperor's New Groove right here, motherfucker.
all right.
I was
Remember
thinking
that one?
I can do two
He knows
things.
his way around animation.
I can do a llama or an invisible man.
Okay, first the llama.
I think that sounds the same.
Well, let's hear the llama.
No, because they all
Or
sound.
invisible man.
The llama is look at me and my bad self.
That's
No touchy. Yeah, that was one that was a
Ooh,
blast
rappy?
to do,
That's
yeah.
a funny movie.
That was a great one. That was
That was a great comment.
Yeah, you and Warburton.
Come on. This was solid mahogany. The poison, Cusco's poison. The poison. He and goddamn Eartha Kitt playing Yzma were
Eartha
so
Kitt was in that
hilarious.
one?
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie? It's
Dana, wake up.
genuinely just like shockingly
It's funny, isn't it? I
Yes.
couldn't
Well, what
believe
year
it.
did it come out?
Took me 3 years.
90s.
What do you
right,
mean?
Dave?
3 years to shoot it.
Oh,
It's so hard.
it was
because-
mocap,
Say it again.
motion capture.
I don't know if it was mocap.
Did you get it through a general? Did you
I think
do
it
a
was
general when you got it?
SAG-AFTRA.
Oh yeah, you get,
Did he get it through
he
a
snagged
general?
it. Oh, I snagged it
I
through
had
a general.
a general at Disney. General
Uh-huh.
meetings are where you go in and they tell you you're good, and then nothing ever happens.
Correct.
I had one a couple weeks ago.
They want to meet. They just want to. They just want to.
Would you like to play twins?
There you go. You should be
both
in,
guys.
You should be
You're
in
both
movies.
guys in the scene. Writes
Yeah.
itself.
How would you like to clumps it?
The clumps, but more clumps. The white
Clumps it.
clumps.
That's like the Eddie Murphy movie. It's called Clumps
Yeah,
It.
you got this. Is what we all call it
do a
when, when you're
clumps
more
it.
than one part. You're clumpsing it.
See, what they do is they cut tape. They let him do 4 hours of makeup change, then they start the camera again. It's like magic.
Yes, once he did it, it kind of should have been retired. I think because that was the end. Like you're just like, how is this possible?
No one understood. How
was-
can he
yes.
possibly?
One guy's Arsenio sometimes.
That's true. I don't think that's
No, that
how it's
was in
pronounced.
what other movie is it? Coming to America. Just came to me.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
so Emperor's New Groove, I'll play Llama, and but the show Digman is it is funny as shit. I was just
Thanks,
watching it last night.
Thank you.
Good job.
It's Andy Samberg. Come on.
So yeah, and he's
Well,
got
that's the. I mean, not
You have a
everything.
brand.
Not everything you ever do is like we're going hard, funny. But this one is.
It's
that.
just jokes, yeah,
we're
joke,
trying
joke.
to do as much,
And it's a good
jokes as
story,
possible.
is
so
it
you follow it.
PG-13 or soft R?
It was kind of
It's
rough.
a little. It's there's
Do
some
you have all
bleeps.
that stuff on there?
Everything's in, but when it airs on network, it'll be bleeped. The fucks will be bleeped, and everything else can air.
What is that network mean? Comedy Central?
Yeah.
Oh, so because they've got a few in there, but it's not overdone.
No. We
They're-
try to sort of parse them out.
No, it's clever, but a couple times I go, oh, it's a
Yeah.
bad word.
Yeah, it's not softy.
Nasty.
But that was kind of the idea.
No,
Like we worked
good
together, on Brooklyn. Thanks.
Yeah.
And we loved making Brooklyn, but it's NBC. So there were plenty of times we were like, just want to make a show where we don't have to
Just
cut.
something borderline gets killed. I've done that before, and you go, this
Yeah.
isn't even. We got to compete out there.
Exactly.
It's very hard to argue because you're like, who's going to care?
Yes. Our hope is that we made something that people in comedy will like it.
They say that a half-hour show, network show, is kind of the best schedule for a human being.
Well, yours was even
harder.
Mine was harder than his. He did it live.
Mine is straight sitcom.
You were 17 hours a week, right? About
16.5.
And once it's like a hit total. And everyone knows their parts too, and no one's stressed, you just show up, smash. The audience is there to love it.
Oh yeah,
and you were single camera, so
Will and Grace got down to a science. 4-day weeks, 3-day weeks.
You know, I worked at Radford as a PA.
You did?
I worked on Spin City.
Oh,
really?
Spin City.
I can't believe it. Get out of here, Sarge.
Sorry, he does Michael J. Fox.
You guys both.
Hey guys, what are we doing here exactly?
It's a soft Casey Kasem.
Gotta give me a minute here, Sarge.
Come on, Sarge. Give me a minute. I'm Casey Kasem playing Michael J. Fox.
In what? Prisoners of War or something? Casualties of War.
The worst one to do an impression of, no one saw it.
But you're doing it with Sean Penn.
Yeah. He's
what
like,
are we doing?
We're going to get this VC gook whore.
Getting a tattoo.
Hey, come on, guys.
Getting a tattoo. I know it all.
Come on, guys.
Yeah,
man.
It's Casey
That's
Kasem,
classic shit.
basically.
Is it really? It's a little lower.
There was a little
it's
bit.
different. But your Casey's
But
good.
you just take it back a little bit. Come on, Sarge.
Don't make the audience think it's easy.
Audience,
it's not dissimilar. I'll give you that.
You got to go on your tiptoes, open your eyes with. Hey, Doc, this is.
Oh my God, I love
We're
it.
home now.
By the way, when I was there though, it was Charlie Sheen.
That's actually very good.
It was Charlie Sheen?
It was Charlie Sheen. It was post Fox, so it was a different vibe.
Oh, Spin City. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you do the sketch Hookers and Blow with Charlie Sheen?
Did I do that?
Yeah. Were you in it?
I don't think I was in that.
That was Matt Piedmont wrote that. It was a body shop called Hookers and Blow, spelled differently, and it was Charlie Sheen was the pitch man.
Oh my God! And it aired?
Yeah.
Who played Charlie Sheen?
He did.
Oh, he did
When
it
he
himself.
hosted, yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, good.
By the way, Hot Shots, really good.
Hot Shots is funny.
It's really funny.
All right, what's your
Blizzard
wrap-up?
Man or Shy Ronnie?
Oh
It's like a little game.
Oh, Shy Ron, you got to do it with Rihanna.
That was
Yeah.
the shit.
Fuck.
She's the coolest.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the sillier things
So
I
good.
saw.
The
cool thing
Shy
about
Ronnie
her-
character was just so.
And her doing it is unbelievable.
Her doing it, but now whenever I see her, which is not often, she sees me and she goes, Shy Ronnie!
Oh, cute.
Like, I don't know if she knows my name, but
yeah.
I'm happy with what I get.
Unreal. You got everyone loves.
God,
everyone's
you know
in love with
Rihanna.
Yeah.
Damn.
Good job.
I'm jealous.
We're doing
All
our
right.
wrap up.
Well, should we talk about the Oscars? I don't know. Just kidding.
Fill in the blanks. It's a new game we have.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then
shit.
you're
And
outta
you can
here.
always say pass.
Okay.
Lorne Michaels is.
My dad.
We've never got that.
No, that's a good one.
I thought that's what everyone would say.
He is kind of everybody's dad.
Go to your room.
He's 13 months older than me, but he's like.
One time I had been doing pretty well after a couple of years, and I like did the bit, where you where you force it and you make your hands touch. Like he was reaching for his popcorn.
Oh my God.
And you're like a meet cute kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, look at that. He was like, slapped my hand. He went, I am not your friend.
That's for
And I was like, okay, yeah, sorry, Lauren, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
I like Lauren even says anything like that.
But it
Do you
still
remember
makes
any
me laugh.
Lorneisms? And we always do this on the show.
I mean, he does.
The value of water. Everyone knows that one.
Yeah, I mean, he always starts things. It's that thing, because it's like that thing.
And like.
Yeah.
It's like, it'd be better if it was like funny. It'd be like a really, really good show.
It helps with my bottle.
It would help if it was good.
Yeah. This is the last. We have 2 weeks off.
It would help if it was good.
A good note and rather a low note. I know that's all designed to relax us.
Emily Spivey, I don't know if you guys know her. She was a writer for a very long time on the show. She used to do a bit in the rewrite table where where
the rewrite.
Is it going to be
That
R-rated?
18-hour rewrite.
No, not
day.
R-rated. Where the phone would ring, or she'd pretend the phone ring, and she'd pick it up and she'd go, "Hello, oh hey, Lauren, oh thank you. No, I know, I worked really hard on it. No, I love you too." Like basically act like he was calling to give her tons of compliments because he never gives them to anybody.
He'll always compliment, not when you're really killing a big thing, but like some exit or when you have one line in some cowboy sketch. I thought it was breathtaking.
The one time he ever said something overtly nice about something I did in front of everybody was a great day. It was the meeting between Dress and Air. He was like, "Can we cut out of that a little faster?" Very funny, by the way. And I was just like, melted to a puddle. And I was like, God, why does he have so much power over us?
I know.
But I fucking let it. I'll never forget it.
Well, you know, he's seen everybody. He's seen
Exactly.
every American sketch player and every.
he
knows every move.
Somewhat equal to all those people that have been there before.
Yes.
And
believe me, Andy Samberg was a very, very.
All right, Andy, I gotta go.
I
can't answer any of my own questions anymore about you that I answer them.
Okay, fair.
Fill in the blank. I'm really bugged by
bugs.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
My dream job is.
I have it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Positivity.
It's not a bit. Like I can't believe it. It's like we were talking
finish
about.
the sentence. I did a Corona commercial with
Snoop.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg.
I'll tell you one thing about those commercials. When you do them, you're like, oh, it's fucking Snoop. These are funny. This is going to be great. And then you don't realize they're going to air them 7 billion times and like make people hate you, even if they like it the first 100 times. Yeah. But I should have known.
They're well known. What was your mic drop? There was always a little thing right at the end. You're with him, and then there's something right at the end. You do a little eyebrow thing or something. I'm sure I've seen it.
Well, I did a few with him. Yeah. There's more coming, by the way. God
no.
I know. I sold out.
God damn it.
I took the checky.
No, Andy.
No, Dana, I
turned down so many commercials in the 90s. I regret it to this day.
Did you?
Getting commerce now is cool. Ryan Reynolds just made $200 million off some gin product.
He makes so much money.
Yeah.
He can't stop either.
There's nothing wrong with that. All that means is freedom to do what you want.
It is annoying that he's making so much money and he's good.
Yeah.
Like, and seems really nice and funny.
You wish he sucked a little bit.
Yeah.
But instead he's like
now
funny.
He has an advertising company, a management company.
He's got a phone company.
Yeah. And his movies are all big and you want to watch them.
He owns Northern California.
I know. He's good.
But
no, it's a drag.
He's the president of the universe.
Yeah.
Oh, this will be, you won't want to do, you want to do this one. Fred Armisen is.
Oh man.
That's good. Like it's too much talent.
My friend.
Yeah.
But also so good, so funny.
Just makes me smile every time I see him.
He was on last week, right?
Camera.
He's delightful.
Was he on with
and
Jenna
by the way,
Ortega?
Speaking of no pushing.
Yeah.
Like he never ever is sweaty ever, and it's always funny and weird and interesting.
Yeah. I could get sweaty sometimes.
Oh,
but
me
Fred
and you both.
never would.
Spade never gets sweaty.
I'm not too sweaty, right?
No, you run it nice and cool, and it's always sharp.
I like that
It's true.
description.
But you and me, we want it. We want it.
Yeah, we can very easily stretch your body out.
We're like, I got a skill set. Let me show you, motherfucker.
All right, you get one
Kristen
last one.
Wiig is
Also my friend.
and
one of the greatest.
Yeah. Agreed.
one of the best.
Yeah.
When I was doing Regis out there, I was guest hosting and just kind of rehearsing all week. And then she comes in as Kathy Lee with all this stuff. It was like I was kind of almost starstruck by the meticulous business she had, her energy, she was hypnotizing this other rhythm. It was really interesting to be around that.
She's kind of like Steph Curry of SNL, where you're like, she's super quiet and seems kind of just keeping to herself. And then all of a sudden you realize she's been fucking working hard and is an absolute beast.
And ready to unleash.
And like, as soon as that audience is there, you're like, oh shit, I got to get out of the way.
Oh, she has been thinking about this.
Yeah. Is it okay to mention your wife is a famous musician?
Yeah. I love my wife.
Gina Newsom.
Joanna,
sorry.
That's okay.
Went to state school. Joanna Newsom, singer-songwriter, harp player, piano and vocals. I listened to some of it. So I think that's pretty hip. You're both artists.
Yeah.
So she understands.
She's much cooler than me, obviously. But
she seemed incredibly cool.
She's that.
We're just... what else?
She says hi.
Good. She says hi. So now, just to wrap it up. So you're a dad now, and so that whole your world has changed. And now you and your wife are going to balance this thing with your work.
Yes.
Do you have a plan?
It's hard. It's very hard.
It is. It's interesting.
Like figuring out when to work, when not to, when who works when,
where.
Yeah. Spade, what do you think?
I think you're heading the right direction. That's my general
Spade,
thought.
Do you think you want kids?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I have a daughter and she's here. Not here in the house.
That's true.
I kicked her out.
Yeah.
But she's here and we're going to go to the lunch right after this.
How old is your daughter?
She's 14.
Where are you going to take her? Take her to Beverly Hills, that little diner in the Beverly Hills Hotel.
No, we're going to something more grimy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In and out.
I don't want her to know that I have any money.
Just keep it quiet.
This house is
a little bit of a giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
In LA, kids just think that's what houses are.
I know, this house.
I'm just kidding. You're
Andy Samberg has been our guest, and he's been very nice. And his leg probably hurts at this point.
No, I would do this for another 7 hours.
And you're going to
really
give us some
deep dive
on
how much fun it was to shoot laser cats.
Oh, I do like laser cats.
Well, when you see it, you're like, that's just kid stuff. That's so much fun.
It was very fun.
I like Shy Ronnie. Okay.
This we do our sum up.
Yeah.
Andy Samberg, one of the all-time greats, Saturday Night Live.
What?
Revolutionized Saturday Night Live with digital video. Probably has 200 to 300 million hits on YouTube between all those videos.
Money?
No, YouTube views.
Definitely more than that.
Also, one of the ones we were talking about.
55 million just for On a Boat.
I think I'm On a Boat has well over 200 million.
Okay, so you're close.
You're the new bad baby.
I'm kidding. If I knew this in the beginning of the podcast,
I think of myself as the new Rebecca Black, but thank you.
Okay.
I would have been nervous if I'd known that stat. But yeah, it's pretty monstrous.
All of them are from years ago, by the way.
Doesn't matter. Aggregate.
I think we have over 1 billion views on our YouTube channel, which I know because what else am I going to do?
And you get paid $2,900.
Look at the views.
Check those stats.
Yeah.
But now there's single songs by pop stars that have like over 2 or 3 billion or something.
Yeah. Mr. Lizard has 7 billion hits on his latest song, Shabadoo. No, I'm kidding. I'm trying to think what's funnier than Bad Bunny, Mr. Lizard.
We have been trying to get Andy for a while because people ask about, like, there's people they really want to hear from. So it's nice that you...
Well, your impact on the show is huge. You're part of the whole story of SNL.
Yeah.
And so we were very happy to have you.
And there's a chunk of time. It's like good to have Andy.
You had a lane that no one else had.
Well, thanks. I mean, it's very much with Akiva and Yorma too. I always have to mention.
And with your friends who are in a lot of the videos and are really great performers themselves. They always make me laugh.
They're great.
Right,
those are my buds.
Let's take our picture. All right. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks.
This has been a podcast presentation of Cadence 13. Please listen, then rate, review, and follow all episodes. Available now for free wherever you get your podcast.
No joke, folks. Fly on the Wall has been a presentation of Cadence 13, executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Chris Corcoran of Cadence 13, and Charlie Finan of Brillstein Entertainment.
The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman with production and engineering support from Serena Regan and Chris Basil of Cadence 13.